Live from the Streamline Mortgage Solutions studio, it's Orlando's own Tom and Dan. Whoopee!
Hello. This is your Mediocre Time with Tom and Dan program. We hope that you will find our presentation precise, joke heavy, and just right. Thanks.
Show number 507.
You heard the robot. It is show number 507 of A Mediocre Time with Tom and Dan. I am Dan.
I'm Tom.
Samantha, our producer, is here, and she is pissed.
Pissed?
Oh, we have been fucking with her so bad today. Oh, we fucked with her. Tom fucked with her. Her husband.
Continuation of yesterday.
Her husband's fucking with her.
She's gonna quit.
Travis just stayed out of the way. You didn't do anything wrong. Travis has been the good one. John Bustecker is here.
Hey.
Orlando's local storyteller, and our sales guy extraordinaire, the butler, is here. Welcome to the show, everybody.
Here's why I think she doesn't quit.
I don't know
Right?
if is my mic on?
No, you can't hear yourself?
No,
that's
that's
your
all right.
headphones.
No, it's your headphones. You got headphones number 2. You got to turn
Number
up 2.
two.
I know I did. I can hear everybody but me, but that's fine.
That's kind of how I feel. I feel like I can hear everybody but me.
All right. Oh, there we go. That sounds better. Is that better? Yeah.
All right, okay. I gave him a little more gain. Little
There
more
you go.
gain.
So here's why Samantha won't quit. I've done the calculations already.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Is no matter how bad it gets here, with the general bumbling and which is my army name, by the way.
General Bumbler. All right, you maggot. I'm going to tell you how to fuck up your life.
And us not putting shit in the calendar and surprising Samantha, and she's
It's never a good surprise.
Hey,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
mine didn't happen, so am I off the hook? Because I don't know where that guy is.
Yeah, you're fine.
Yeah.
until he shows up late. Then it's bad to
Oh,
go.
real bad then. Because
But,
it's never
I
coming
locked
late.
the doors though.
Yeah. Oh, you locked the doors? Oh, sorry. It's like being at a Broadway play. Fuck you.
Still better than working for a giant corporation and the headache you have to deal with that.
Yeah, it's pretty accurate.
Yeah,
It's getting close.
I
though.
know that, but
No,
I-
but it's getting close.
Giant corporate jobs will suck your soul out of you, and we'll, I think we can be better at that just because the the quaintness and
This is
of a
not
small
quaint.
business.
It's not like we own a small knick-knack shop. Welcome to
like
Tom
that.
and Dan Oddities.
Yeah,
We-
eventually, you turn into the big corporation, though, right?
Yeah, that's
Oh,
what
yeah.
we're doing right
That's
now.
when it gets bad. Yeah.
What we're doing right now.
We're a
Fucking, if you
while-
looked at my penis, a tattoo on it says sellout. Huge
I don't think
tattoo, small penis.
Just based on my own business knowledge, we'll never be there. It's not going that way.
Yeah, we had a bunch of things happen even before the show. He's like, yeah, that's money.
Basically, how big companies
Those are
run, too,
bills
though.
coming in.
True, but they're so big it just doesn't matter as much.
Tom
Ours
goes,
like, I can't pay the shit.
That's not what you want your boss to scream. Yeah, can't pay the shit. That's the worst thing. That's the worst thing for
I'm
your
just
boss
glad
to
you
say.
guys are still in this studio.
Not
or
for
was it
long. We
last
don't have a
week?
lease right now.
Okay.
Don't talk
He
about
haven't-
Am I
They
not
haven't
supposed to talk
evicted
about
you,
that? Am I not supposed to talk about that?
He don't listen to the show.
Don't talk about it. I said put the lease under the mat.
And he did. And then I picked it up, and then I looked at it. There's no numbers on it. I'm like, what am I supposed to do? And the post-it note says, fill it out yourself. I'm like, I don't know. I can't pay the shit.
Put the lowest numbers on it.
No, it's not
Then
going to
it's a
work.
contract.
No, that's an insult. And then next thing you know, I'm boiling my feet. I'm tied up in a fucking warehouse somewhere. Not happening to me.
We're going to be back in your old studio soon, aren't we?
Well,
That's fine.
I
It's
got
still
something
painted.
to tell you guys. I'm moving.
That's free rent,
I
though.
can't afford it anymore.
I know.
That's free over there.
No, I can't afford it anymore. We're moving.
Oh, yeah.
Going to the apartment. So if you guys broadcast from my kitchen. Just like everybody else. Kitchen table. I think I'm Joe Rogan.
Real quick, a couple things. We're in the process. We talked to a couple venues actually today of planning our first, BDM only party of this year.
How do you guys feel about world's largest McDonald's?
Yeah.
Or do the letters OLE mean anything to you? Roundos.
And
Back and better than ever.
You could do it at the dog track in Longwood.
Oh, no.
I never thought
Look,
about
he's
that.
gambling.
You could gamble while you're doing your
What are we going to
thing?
gamble on? Because the dogs run while we're in the center doing a concert?
yeah.
Tom's wife would never be down for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
She'll have to watch the
I won't tell her.
Yeah, we'll let her take a tour. That's how they did the vote, right? I was like, everybody go down there and see what we really do.
Didn't
Right?
they vote that out, though?
Yeah, they did.
It's phased
okay.
out, though.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
still got a year or two.
Oh,
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
still running?
Oh, if I were a dog owner and you said I got a year or two, I'm going to beat them. I'm going to make up for lost time. You're going to see some beating now.
What are they going to do with all the dogs?
It's coming down.
There was a story in the paper the other day that a lot of them are getting adopted. They thought it was going to be the opposite, where what do you do with all these dogs that are retiring? A lot of people have stepped up and started.
And let's be
adopting.
honest, are they really retiring, or are we just not forcing them to do that anymore?
I think you
Right.
do.
A
little bit of both.
You
It's
do.
not like they get a golden plaque and like, great job, Spocky.
They should get something.
You do what the government does for anytime like they do a big time drug seizure or like they get a bunch of arms, is they lay them all out on the floor and then they have their their SWAT team tank roll over them. That's what we do with the dogs.
Completely meaningless. They soak into the sand, pick it up, still fire.
We just roll them over with the SWAT team
I
tank.
think you got to do that. I think you put them on an island.
Oh, it's gruesome.
I think you just put them all on an island.
They could put them with those monkeys on that island.
Oh, they don't mix
No,
well.
look at what do they have?
Monkey
herpes. Over
herpes.
there? Yeah,
Yeah,
don't do
yeah.
that.
Oh.
Riding them like
Yeah,
animals.
those monkeys are riding.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
that's how we get killed.
Yeah, yeah.
Next thing you know,
See
I'm
Planet
like,
of the Apes?
I look on the horizon. It looks like the cavalry is riding towards me. It's fucking herpes monkeys on Greyhound. They're coming at me. They're coming at me. They're really fast.
Didn't I say that on one of my news things where they used to do that? Where they
We
put-
don't
Yeah.
listen to your news
That's all right.
things.
They used
No,
to
you
put the
did.
monkeys on the Greyhounds. They don't do
Yeah.
that no more.
No, that was camel racing.
Oh.
And they used to have
No, they used to put monkeys on there.
Yeah.
on actual Greyhounds
Yeah,
here.
yeah, yeah.
I don't,
Well, like
I don't, I don't
fif-
think
like,
it was here.
like 80 years ago, long time ago.
Are you
I'm
serious?
pretty sure. Yeah,
I think you're thinking
like
of
little spider monkeys? Like, what were they?
they just put monkeys on them and then they would race them.
They would put kids on the camels. I saw this on Real
Never
Sports.
put
I
your
saw
kid
that.
on a
And then
camel.
now they replaced it with robots that have like a robot whipping arm that just whips their
It
camel
whips
ass.
the camel?
Yeah,
Can
because
we
that-
get one of those? The whipper arm. No,
yeah.
not the camel. I don't want the camel.
No,
the
we get
whipping
the-
arm.
yeah, we get the
and then I
robot
want to
whipper.
lay on the couch nude and have it just whip my balls.
Monkey greyhound racing was claimed to have begun as a fad in Palm Beach, Florida in 1920.
Yeah! Claim to fame, Florida.
Hold on.
We do the best stuff.
Is
We
there-
do the best stuff.
Read more about. Is there like video
Oh,
footage?
there's
of
tons
this?
of videos on YouTube.
Can we bring this
Oh,
back?
and look up monkey greyhound racing.
Monkey
'Cause
jockey on Greyhound in New Jersey.
Is this spider monkey? It has
Yeah,
to be,
they're
right?
little monkey. Yeah, little
Tiny
Tiny
monkeys.
monkey, capuchin monkey.
Big old red ass baboons too heavy.
Yeah, it says capuchin monkeys. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Outbreak monkey.
So would they do
All the
anything?
videos from like the 40s, though. Is it all black and white?
Yeah,
Most of them,
Yeah,
yeah.
well, they didn't do it. They didn't do it last year.
Well, I'll start with a couple
Did they
of photos.
train? Oh my God, that's awesome!
I'll start with a couple of photos.
He's
here.
wearing like a
Jockey.
little tiny hat,
yeah.
And here they are warming up.
and they're sitting like they actually know how to
Oh
ride.
my fucking God!
Dude.
They're jumping over a bush.
I think they stopped doing it because the monkeys would get killed.
I
'Cause
found
they-
one from 2017. They're not greyhounds. They're just random dogs.
All right, Harry. Oh, there's
this is
you
like
got to
a
have a
circus.
human in there to whip both of them if they fuck around.
Yeah. All right, he's holding on for dear life.
Yeah.
Oh, he fell off.
The idea is for him to do a back somersault from the saddle. But today is Henry's off day. Nice day and no hard feelings.
We're gonna
but
whip the
nuts
fuck
to
out of
be
him.
said. Albert explains the position.
The idea is for the monkey to do a backflip off the dog. If he doesn't do it, we beat him until his fucking brains fall out. It's the 40s. We do nothing, and smoking cures cancer.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure
this
a bunch
is
of monkeys
unbelievable.
died, and
Yeah.
then they stopped doing it.
Me and Daniel's. Nah, this sounds horrible, but I mean, this is back in the day. But we get some delight out of old school animal abuse because they didn't know any better, and
Well,
they didn't
did.
have.
They just didn't care.
Yeah, well, you're right. I guess they didn't care, but like the society didn't care.
Look at
so-
that monkey go. He loves it. We talked to him earlier from another monkey translator, and he said it's the best thing he's ever done.
Yeah, and
Now let's kill those Russians. I don't know what they would do.
That is amazing. I need to
God, if
find
only
out
we could
more
do that
about
for our
this.
10-year anniversary.
Yeah,
Then we'd
that
have a
would-
fucking crowd.
Yeah.
But right now, with the way the world is we have to, we have a band. Great job.
I'm gonna run this by Bustecker to see what he thinks. I wasn't gonna talk about this, but this week's been crazy.
Oh, my God.
Well, I mean, it started out great.
Yeah.
Just kind of...
It lasted forever.
Well, a lot of crazy things.
Yeah, a lot of up and down, you know?
So earlier this week, we got an email from our kid's school that.
I thought you weren't going to talk about it.
Yeah, I know. Well, yeah, but it seems like it's.
By the
over
way,
or
I know
whatever.
nothing about this because in the new book that I'm reading some self-help stuff. Rather than being, I will be compassionate to everybody, but I'm not going to seek out. I'm not going to stick my nose or find out details that I don't need to know. So did you notice? I haven't really asked much about this because keeping it arm's length. I mean, obviously you can handle it.
So
Maybe.
basically, the email was there was a homeless guy kind of hanging out. My kid's school, it's a church, right?
Yeah.
So it's preschool. And
Look at
everything.
these kids riding this homeless man around the church. Now that.
So they the church tries to help out people.
Yeah.
That's what they're about.
Yep.
So I think the homeless guy was like maybe receiving some help every once in a while, whatever. But he was like just around the area, and so apparently,
Do they have my dad used to work at the, what do you call it? Like the area at the church, at my mom's church, at Trinity United Methodist in DeLand, great church. And my dad worked in the area where we'd gift clothes and food. They had a little kitchen. My dad would serve the food. And then he'd if they needed a new pair of pants or shoes, he'd size them up. Is it kind of like that sort of thing?
Maybe. I don't know exactly what, because I'm not involved, obviously,
That's
with
good.
anything. But it may have been that type of situation where maybe the guy was they were trying to help him out a little bit or whatever. I don't know. Anyway, so I guess what happened was he may have been sleeping in their
Trash men?
yeah, something on the outside or whatever, and it wasn't kosher or wasn't approved
That's
or they didn't let him do it.
Jewish people.
And then some argument ensued, and then they had to trespass him,
All right.
basically
Yeah.
because he got belligerent, and there was some fuck you guys. I don't know, and they may have been trying to be polite about how they handled it. So
All right.
I don't know what happened, but a situation happened.
Well, sometimes you
and
gotta,
now
you gotta
this
draw
homeless
a
guy.
line.
Yeah, I
It's-
think so,
it's- It's
too.
children. You got to draw a line,
Yeah.
and I'm sure maybe he's not of the. A lot of
He's
the homeless
mentally
people.
ill.
My dad would tell me a lot of them.
That's what scares me,
I can't
too.
say what my dad would say about the homeless people that he would help, but let's just say he referred to a lot of them as dodos.
All right.
So anyway, so they had to send out
He
this
was
email
helping them, Sam.
to all the parents, hey, this situation happened. We just want to let you guys know.
That's
which caused an uproar with the moms.
But they're being
Well,
transparent.
they should have
which,
told him. They should have sent an email the first time this guy started hanging out. He shouldn't have been able to hang out anyways.
well, here's the thing, because
if
I've
you're
dealt.
labeling it a school, you should not just have
Well,
strangers.
it's
I
a church
understand.
hanging out the
first,
grounds.
and the school program, like many churches, is part of their
Yeah, it's just an
preschool.
arm. Yeah, it's just
so
an
when it's
arm
school
there.
hours, no strangers to be loitering around the premises.
Yeah.
Agreed, but not just like everything. It's not black and white.
Yeah.
It's like I've dealt with this before. I can't go into details, but let's just say that I've been on sort of a situation much like what Tom is talking about, where it was not black and white, and you just do the best you can.
And of course, people get freaked out.
Of course.
because they're like, "What is this?" And then they're like, "Well, what? Who is he going to come back? Get vengeance or something?" Everybody's freaked out.
Come back with a trash gun.
And we live in a world that everybody is scared for everybody's safety in every situation because of all these crazy things that keep happening. Anyway, long story short, I read it. I wasn't scared at all. I was like, but then as my wife ramped me up to do something,
we
then
saw you got hot. You sat over that chair and hammered out a 4,200 thumb email.
Oh yeah. Which basically, she's like, "Do something." I'm like, "Fine." And then I email the school. I'm like, "Hey, are you sure everything's safe?" And they're like, "Yes, everything's safe."
Everything's safe.
I didn't even need to email because I knew what the response is going to be. What are they going to be like? "Oh, glad you emailed me." Now
he has me tied up right now, and I'm typing with my nose. They're not going to say that.
So then I came up with a different plan. This is what I wrote run by Busdecker.
Is this why you called me last night to meet you down at the school in all black?
You're not going to kidnap a homeless man, are you?
Kind of.
You're
Now
gonna drop
here,
him off in Tampa?
okay, here's my thing. Because you know how you get like a nuisance animal or whatever in your house, or a dog that you don't want
small,
anymore.
Man.
You just drive out to the woods and you just drop it off.
You
and
think
you're
he's
like,
not going to find his way back?
okay, that's what I was going to ask you.
Small, you got to go plane ticket.
What's the
bye?
What's the protocol?
Maybe you can just spin him around 100 times. He doesn't know where he's at.
Yeah, but what if he wanders right into the nursery?
What
are the odds?
Us patrolling the area, finding the particular gentleman, getting him in my truck.
Sounds like a bad.
In a
I'm
way.
just gonna stop you here. It sounds like a bad idea. But continue.
Well, and then blindfolded because so he can't find his way back.
No,
He's got to be gagged too, because you don't.
Yeah.
You might as well get charged with kidnapping.
I may
while
have
you're doing this.
to knock him out in a way. I've seen the movies.
You can't. No, this is a terrible idea.
Chloroform.
Well, it's yeah. There it is, brother. Order me some chloroform, but
that'll
not on
look
my
good.
computer.
Yeah, that'll look good.
Because I
Casey
heard they
Anthony.
can search
Why don't
that.
you just buy a bunch
Just
of
putting him to
booze?
sleep.
Don't use my computer. Just search that on
Are
your
you talking
own,
about
please.
E.T. put the booze out like Skittles into my
Yeah.
truck? And then I shut the door. I'm like,
Passed
gotcha.
out, yeah.
So anyway, once I got the bum in one, either conscious or unconscious, he will have no choice. I will give him a choice. Be like, hey, this could be the easy way.
No, you're not going to be able to reason with him. Number one.
Yeah, maybe
No.
with some bribery, booze. I got some Texas Ranger whiskey in there.
We need that.
And to the homeless man.
How?
Oh yeah, that's a perfect tie-in. Hold on. Shall we do our
okay.
shot?
Yeah.
I'm sure your sponsors love that.
I'll play this on my truck.
Hold on.
Homeless men love it.
We're gonna need an air check of this. Say I'm
Just cut out the beginning.
for the clock.
In the eyes of a ranger,
I'm homeless.
the unsuspecting stranger had better know the truth of wrong from right. 'Cause the eyes of the ranger are upon you. Any wrong you do, he's gonna see.
Get out of my home.
When you're in Texas, look behind you. 'Cause that's where the ranger's gonna be.
All right, if I had a dog that could piss this stuff, and I was sure that dog could piss enough, I would tie his head to the foot of my bed and suck his dick till we both drop dead. Too far. Jeez.
I chose that one. I chose that one.
Don't
whether
air
to
check
drink
this
to
one.
that or the homeless man.
I chose
or-
that one. That's the
far,
one.
too
That's a
far.
Daniel original. Yeah.
Well, let's also plug Tom and Dan Watering Holes, tomanddanwateringholes.com. We got Red Cypress, Johnny's, West End, Tijuana Flats and Claremont, Celery City, Mellow Mushroom, Brew Tap House, Stuffed. We got
Stuffed?
Surfside
What's that?
Tavern. We got the Mets Lounge.
Oh, I love the Mets Lounge.
And if you guys want to
Good
be
time.
a watering hole, just reach out to us. Go to tomanddanwateringholes.com. Those are our bar partners. And heading there and having a drink at any of those locations.
Look, everybody loved the toast. I told you. Do the dog one. Do the dog one.
I had my doubts.
So, Busdecker. And by the way, I saw in the chat room, people were like, even if it's a homeless man, still kidnapping.
It is.
True. But
And you are admitting to it right here.
yeah. But once
that's why I was saying you can't do any of the,
The
blindfold.
cops-
You can't do any. You got to go like,
Well-
hey man, you want to go to lunch?
Oh, and then
Yeah, and then he gets in the car and you drive him to
so-
OIA and you give him a plane ticket.
think that's still called
and you give
kidnapping.
him a plane ticket, you give him $200, and you go, you're starting your new life
okay.
in Iceland.
That's all really. Oh, there'd be more.
And then once
Look at
Tom
him.
leaves, he's going to take the ticket back, get his money back.
No,
and then
you
just-
wait there until he boards.
Okay, you got to board him.
Yeah,
Okay.
watch him fly and make sure he looked at me like, there he is.
And you're like, hey, when you're taxiing, I want you to wave your fingerless glove at the window
Oh,
so I know.
Then he kills the bodyguard I sent with him in the piff helmet, and he climbs down out the landing gear.
and then he does the seated fall.
Then he jumps out of a moving plane, seemingly like 100 feet tall, into the Everglades. And
Bumnando. Hey,
Bumnando.
Tom! Why don't you lighten up?
Yeah.
I don't know what he would do there. Light a match and blow you up.
Then eventually kills me on a steam pipe and then I'm wearing a mesh shark suit.
Why don't you let off some
chainmail? Anyway, so where can I take this bum that he will not get back to this current?
I don't know.
Why
if I
don't
know
you
the
hire
answer.
him as an assistant for Sunny Orange Production?
I could.
yeah.
I guess I don't know the answer to that, but I mean, going back to the original premise of all this, I mean, what is a church's duty? Is a church's job to help the least among us, or not? I mean,
Well,
I think you gotta-
their
I
main
think
job
you
is
gotta
to
balance it
protect
out.
everybody, and if if the guy was
Well, what was he doing?
causing trouble,
Was he the I would have to know.
I think
as
he was,
As a
but-
parent, I'd have to know. Okay, I can understand him being mad that he got trespassed because nobody likes to have it running with the cops. But what did he do? Was he yelling obscenities? Originally,
think
was
it
he
got-
defecating in the church?
He may have probably set up some sort of mini camp in the doorway, like
Okay.
the overhang, and it's
yeah.
probably
yeah,
there.
and then fair enough. You do gotta. At some point, you can't help. I mean, eventually, you have to probably turn
Sure.
to the
Well,
authorities.
or tell him listen, you can't do this here, please.
Yeah.
And then I think that's what happened, and then it got belligerent, and then they were like, we're gonna have to trespass you because now you've created the situation.
Sure.
But he created that situation.
Yeah,
not
yeah.
the church.
But like I said,
But-
most likely mentally ill or whatever the case may be. I just need to drop him off somewhere.
But then my question is: are people mad that he was even there in the first place? Originally,
No.
around the church.
I would say if I was a parent, yeah, I would be. Because any other school, you're not allowed to just have
No
random
loitering.
strangers
Yeah, no
come
loitering.
on the school premises.
But
you have
this
to
is
be
a
fill out a
church.
Yeah.
slip.
You have
It's
to
a
have
church,
you have to have a
So-
visitor badge.
So then there needs to be rules of when they can come and go. Or you just have to be cool with that anybody
Yeah.
can walk up in your kid's school at any point.
Here's the other answer I would give you growing up in the church and spending a lot of time at my church in DeLand. They did have a school, and they were separate. If the homeless, it's not like they were going to deny the homeless to come and get the food and clothing that they needed. If they are connected, unfortunately, that's one of those things where it's yeah, we can trespass them because maybe this guy's not so good, but at the same time,
if other people need help,
this
this
is going to continue. It's just you're going to a church school, and that's just kind of
One of our guests actually works at a school church.
Yeah.
Oh, really? You had this problem before? The homeless? No.
Well, they have their doors locked like a regular school.
Yeah. Well, I mean, our
Tom's
in the
school doesn't have doors. It's weird. They don't believe in that.
It's just a pavilion.
It's open air.
It's a new
yeah,
thing.
I mean-
it's like Common Core.
Yeah, that's why I felt like they have all the locked doors and the security
But do they
measures
go
and
out for
stuff like that.
recess and stuff like that?
They do, so that's why I was concerned. But
Go play in the trash pile.
But,
Go play with that man over there. He'll push you on the swing.
he's got dog goggles. So anyway, so I was dealing with that.
Don't touch my stick.
And also I had a movie idea. I wanted to run past
Is
you
it
guys.
about
damn
it about
it.
a man that kidnaps a bum from his
No.
Taken.
No, but it's similar.
And then you become friends.
And then this has an aspect.
I'll have a very unique set of skills.
I was going to talk
fog.
about it because literally I may have been on THC one night when I was these are when I come up with my best ideas, and I was sitting there. I was like, you know what? This is a good idea. I'm going to write a screenplay and sell it. There's $1 million.
Learn to write.
Yeah.
Then when I woke up and for the subsequent past couple days, I just realized that would probably be a step too far, and I'm never going to do it. They're too lazy.
So you'd rather just give it out now.
Yeah. Well,
so you can see it made.
unless you guys really think it's a good idea, then I will do it. Or hire someone.
won't do it.
Okay, you're right. So my idea is.
Do you want us to seriously judge this? Because
Yes.
I'll put on my serious
Yes,
hat. I'm
yes.
not going to bag on it just to bag on it. I'm going to put on my serious hat.
Okay, yeah. So, it's kind of and this is very popular now, where you take a popular movie in the past and you kind of do the same version of the movie, similar to we were just talking today. It's kind of like the Groundhog Day movie. What is it called? Netflix?
Russian dolls.
Russian dolls. Like the premise is similar to Groundhog's Day,
Yes.
but it's a different whole thing. But everybody knows that and recognizes this premise and they like it, right? So the premise is gonna be like Rain Man, but with a current day twist of Rain Man. So
Kevin Hart is.
no, it involved Kevin Hart because in my mind, I'd write it. This is how you make the money in the screenplays: is you write it with certain big stars in mind, and then when you sell it to the big production
Who's
companies,
Dustin Hoffman? The Rock?
No, the guy who plays Dwight Schrute from The Office. What's his name?
Oh, Rainn Wilson.
Rainn Wilson.
Okay.
So it's Kevin Hart and Rainn Wilson. Okay, imagine that in your mind.
I'm laughing already.
Wait,
yeah,
were you so high that you said Rain Man and you're like, Rainn Wilson? Was it,
No.
Was it that lazy?
I was so high I
feel
forgot.
This is already, you're like lazy Spielberg. Like, I feel like Rain Man, Rainn Wilson. Yeah. Comedian, funny. Oh, I think I'm having a heart. Kevin Hart.
So Kevin Hart is...
The sequel's going to be The Rainmaker.
Yeah, exactly.
He plays like a guy in his, like, let's say late 20s or whatever. He's going back to school because his dream is to be like a sports broadcaster. He knows all about sports, right? Loves sports, in his fantasy football leagues and all this stuff, right? Dabbles with gambling online like everybody does.
So it's like a biopic.
Well, this is where I got the idea. So for his part-time job, as he's going to school to become a broadcaster, a sports broadcaster, because that's his dream. He knows all about sports. He is a janitor at a local low-security mental hospital, let's say, where not even a mental hospital,
now
but like a hospital.
Now there's a sprinkling of the Fat Boys Disorderlies. Remember that movie?
Who's the janitor?
Kevin Hart.
Kevin Hart's a janitor.
Little racist, bro.
spoiler
but
alert.
A little bit.
No,
Can't even have a better job.
It doesn't have
than
to be janitor. It can be anything.
How about a substitute teacher?
Well, no, because I need him to be like just doing his work in the hallway, and he has like interactions with the patients that are there,
like
right?
a doctor.
Yes, well, not really, because the whole premise is he wants to be in sports. Anyway, so he wanders past this room where he sees a guy watching the football game, right? And he's into sports, so he starts up a small conversation with him, and the guy has it together, but he's like, I'm not sure what I have to figure out because it's really everybody's sensitive nowadays, so you have to be careful. But I would say he's severely autistic, but functioning, but maybe not. He's not functioning enough to live a normal life.
I remember when we used to call those people really smart.
Well, it's the
I think I'm old enough to remember, like, before everything was on the spectrum or autistic or you had some sort of a thing.
Yeah.
I remember when, like, it would be like a weirdo guy. But like everybody would just be like, yeah, he's just mega smart.
Yeah.
Or too, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
you're super smart, but maybe you're socially awkward.
yeah, but no, exactly. But
Or you
nobody
can't
labeled it, and I'm not saying
it's
this
hard to
to
function.
be. I'm not saying this at all to be, disrespectful to anybody. But I remember as a kid meeting people that were probably like now would be considered like autistic or have Asperger's or
Right.
whatever. But like my mom would be like, oh yeah, he's just mega smart.
Yeah.
That's just being smart's kind of his thing. And I was like, oh, that's cool.
Well, that's
I think it was a better spin almost.
that plays into this because this particular, let's call him Rainn Wilson. He's playing kind of the extreme Dwight Schrute character where he
but a little more awkward.
and the whole thing is because of his autism or whatever he has, he is insanely smart, and he's been obsessed with sports this whole time, and he just is really, really smart with all the analytics of sports, and he's able, like he's like the first scene where he's able to literally predict the outcomes of games that no one else can see.
Gambling movie.
Yeah. But
right.
so then Kevin Hart realizes say they're talking about football and so Rainn Wilson's like, oh yeah, this game coming up, it's gonna be this and this, and then he's like, no way, because he's like, that doesn't make any sense. Like,
I
that's
feel like
not
this
what
has been done.
Yeah. What was Moneyball like that?
No, it's been done
Is it
with
Back
Rain
to the
Man.
Future 2 when he goes back and gambles on everything?
Well, he knew the outcome. This is the guy just really smart when it comes to figuring out the outcome sports. Anyway, so the Kevin Hart character goes back, and he also has a part-time podcast. He talks about sports. So then he uses what Rainn Wilson tells him as and he talks about it on his podcast.
But it starts working.
And then all of a sudden, when the game happens, exactly what happened to a certain extent. He predicted something that no one else predicted, and everybody's like, "Holy shit!" He
did it.
And then so he realized, like, oh my God, this guy. So then he starts doing this more and more often. Like, he's sweeping the floor, he goes in and talks to him.
There's got to be a love interest too.
Well, no. With this, yes, there will. Yeah, we'll work that in. But
write down Aisha Tyler.
What happens is
we're gonna need a powerful, a presence, sassy and intelligent.
She's gonna doubt it though at first.
Oh yeah, of course. She's gonna be the doubter, the one that shits on it,
When
and then
does
sees
it
that
all go wrong?
She's gonna be the
Oh, I'll
one
tell you, I
that
got that
tells the Kevin Hart character that you're just exploiting this guy, but deep down inside the Kevin Hart character, he actually cares for Rainn Wilson a lot.
Yes, yeah.
Then eventually they're on a beach, and it's like throw mama from the train.
Well,
Right?
that is happening throughout now. But what's happening with this guy's podcast and everything, and his predictions is he's blowing up.
Is this podcast like hemorrhaging money and he's screaming? Rah!
He also
before the show.
He starts like he gets on draft because we're gonna use like DraftKings and all the things.
Is it product placement?
He wins like
Lots of grifting.
the DraftKings, the national they do these $1 million tournaments or whatever.
So
he
now
wins.
it's like the Wizard where they go to the Nintendo Power
Well,
Championships.
here's where it becomes as he's befriending Rainn Wilson and giving all his stuff.
He contracts AIDS.
Well, no, he realized that they're kind of abusing him at this hospital. It's like a shitty staff and it was like stuff. And then
I have poo-poo butt.
and then so the hospital is going to go out of business or something. I haven't figured out.
Do hospitals go out of business?
And he's gonna have to move to a different location. So then Kevin Hart's like, I gotta get this guy out of here, and we gotta go to Vegas and build an empire, get rich or whatever. So then there's like this whole escape thing where he has to escape with Rainn Wilson, and that's where it goes to like the Rain Man scenario where then he eventually ends up in Vegas. But the mob gets involved because the mafia is
now it's
mad.
Like 3 Minute a Baby.
Well, they're because of
How
his.
long is this movie?
Too long already.
How long is the movie?
Too long. It's too long.
The explanation's too long.
Who's doing the soundtrack? If it's not Post Malone, I'm not in. I want that sunflower.
Does Kevin Hart have a sidekick on his podcast?
Yes.
Yeah.
And
What's he like?
Wait, are you Kevin Hart in this movie?
I'm the Kevin Hart. You're the Nick Swartzen.
Anyway, so what do you guys think? If I write this out,
honestly, I don't hate it at all.
I don't hate it.
I don't hate it.
I haven't seen
would,
a podcasting
I would
movie yet.
watch that fucking movie. I would watch it.
well,
It can't be any worse than what was it, Daddy's Home 2 that my wife made me watch with Mel Gibson.
Oh, no.
And he does a good job, but I can't. He was good in it, but I can't like him. And he's stinky old yellow mouth. He's got a yellow smoker mouth.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
Juan's right. Nick Swartzen is going to be on the cruise this year. Maybe you can.
that's right.
Maybe
Yeah,
you
that
can corner
picture
him in the
too.
casino.
Yeah. When I see him in the elevator, I'm like,
drunkenly
hey, I got a movie for you.
All right. He's meeting the real live Bucky Lasik. Bucky Larson or whatever this fucking. I said Bucky Lasik like the eye surgery. That's how fucking stupid I am.
I would watch it.
Skateboarder, right?
Oh, maybe so.
Yeah, right?
I think it's
Yeah, I
Bucky
think you're
Lasik.
right. Yeah, I think it's Lasik, not
whatever.
LASIK.
But,
You know what I meant.
I combined 3 different things: skateboarder,
And here's
comedian, eye surgery.
I forgot about this part. We use a full season of the NFL, like this past season, where the
Real games and real outcomes.
real outcomes.
Oh, that makes
so
it a
that
better
people,
movie.
Like
That's probably the best idea of the movie.
Yeah.
Actually, that's really good.
So then, when they're predicting games, it's actual games that people remember, and then especially in this Super Bowl, I looked at it like the finale, the ending when they get to Vegas and they predict the Super Bowl to make all their money. Like nobody predicted like the Rams not scoring a touchdown, but Rainn Wilson's character is like, hey, I know Bill Belichick from watching him for years. He's going to shut him down this way. Jared Goff is going to freak out because the pressure's too much. They're not even going to score a touchdown. Like predicting something no one, and then that's the way you make all the money.
He's going to definitely take a shirt off.
No one steal my idea. Everybody
I
out
don't
there.
think.
There you
have to worry
go.
about that.
Totally protected now.
Yeah.
I like that, man. I thought that was pretty damn good.
Listen, but then you have to write
Swervy
it all.
animate it.
Oh god, poor Swervy. That's a lot of animation.
But people write like screenplays.
Although after what they did to Sam, they turned her into an old witch. Did we talk about that? We talked about that last
I don't
week,
think
right?
did we talk
I don't
about
think we
it
really
on
talked
air?
about it.
I never saw the picture of the old witch.
Oh, you don't want to see
Do
it.
you have it? Can I see it?
I don't have it. Sam, can
have
you
it?
pull it up?
Let me check.
I saw the new one, I think.
Yeah, the
That one
old.
look good.
Yeah, there's 2 different cartoons. The first one that they did, they changed Sam to where she resembled
Lumpy.
like a lumpy hipster witch. And then they changed her back to like the way she looks now, like real Sam.
But is the original still out there?
no,
Or
I,
did we
del-
ta-
I
oh.
switched them out.
Oh, okay.
Here, I'll forward you the link.
All right, I'll look at it at the break.
I liked it, dude. I look. I'd love to shit on that, but I could totally see that happening. I'm not going to say it's the best movie idea.
No.
But I think it'd make a lot of money.
Yeah.
And I think if some production company put it in play, it would work.
Well, let me ask you this. So say I write the screenplay and whatever, and here's the thing. How they do it is like if production companies find a good screenplay, they'll buy it from you and then change the way they want it. But the premise is there, you know?
Yeah.
And if they think, but how much can you sell screenplays for if, like, say you write a good screenplay and you shop it out, right? Like, what are they buying it for?
I don't know. I have no idea. It depends on maybe
Google
like,
that, Sam.
how
Google
long you've been doing it,
your
and
reputation,
how hot is the
Yeah, I think it also depends on
story.
what you're willing to let it go for. You know, like you might have a really good idea, and some guy could say like, "Yeah, I'll give you $5,000 for that idea. I think it's great," but it might be $1 million idea.
You're right, but you'd have no way to
I'm
tell.
sure that's happened more times than not.
Yeah,
you
for
know?
sure.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm sure people
Because there's no
get their ideas stolen, or I use that term loosely.
When they buy it out.
Yeah, it's not stolen, but did they get it at a value like they were at a garage sale? Absolutely.
Taking advantage
So,
of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
But what if, like, okay, I say I write this over the next couple months, and it's like shittily written, but the idea
Let's give
is
you a
there-
couple years.
Well, the whole point is it needs to be close enough to the actual real football season for people to remember.
Well, you could always switch
You can
that
always
out,
swap
right?
that in, right?
Yeah.
you can. You just need a surprise.
It might
Super
get
Bowl
better
result.
if you get some really crazy ones. You know, like the Falcon season where the comeback, that would have been the one you need.
True, but the thing is predicting that. What would you predict that would be a surprise? I mean, obviously, when the game happened and then they went up by a lot, but the New England still won. So the prediction would have to be, okay, New England's going to win, which everybody thought
Well, the
anyway.
prediction, he'd have to get uber specific and say, like, I know everybody thinks that Falcons are going to go in heavy, and they are, but they're going to come back and end up eventually
The
winning.
way you made all your money as a gambler would be betting halftime for the
Right.
Patriots to win. Because
Yeah,
at
and then
that
switch
point,
it there. They
was
say that's
1,000.
a good plot point.
Yeah.
You know, you'd have him like
Watching the game and be like,
Falcons are
"Bet
going
it
to be
on-
the first half is going to be theirs,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
watch the
Yeah,
Patriots win it.
Anything like that.
Yeah. That's
but
good.
so
That's not bad.
going back to selling, I need to talk to someone who sold screenplays because obviously
We need to concentrate on this.
No. Well, that's
He's moving on in a different
I
direction.
know he's already pivoting.
I'm not. This is ridiculous. I'm not gonna do anything. But I would like when you were
Remember
selling a
that time
screenplay.
when Tom told us that he has no time to do anything? He wrote a whole fucking screenplay.
I didn't write it. I thought about it last night or 2 nights ago. But
Where were you, and how long was this? Like a quick thought?
yeah. This happened in 5 minutes.
Was just like,
yeah.
and
That
there
happened in
was.
5 minutes. Took you 20 minutes explaining.
Well, I
explaining
thought
and
it-
thinking are
yeah.
way harder.
I can
to
think
explain.
fast.
Yeah.
The explaining part is.
I can just imagine you
downfall.
sitting there thinking this. Yeah.
What were you doing?
Yeah.
Were you just
Sitting on my couch high.
He's like, Crystal.
Yeah.
I got an
Did you
idea.
tell your wife?
I stopped telling her ideas a long time ago because she gets
She shits
mad
on
at
him.
it.
Does she shit on him?
Well, not only that, she gets mad that I even told her. She's like, "Why are you telling me this?"
Excellent point from the chat room. EJ checking in to say that the NFL would definitely cut into your production costs.
I think so. You're right. He's
If you
right.
partnered though with them and they knew they were going to get a cut of all merchandising, then
Here's the thing: you can't. I believe you couldn't use like obviously their logos and shit like that, but you could use the scenarios in the movie talking about something from the past.
I mean, Madden
That's
does.
open.
Why couldn't a movie do it?
Well,
They're
Madden
all
pays
these
for
franchise,
it.
but
no,
like,
I'm saying you could pay for it too.
Like,
Well, you could call them New England and or Los Angeles.
but you can mention
any
like-
given Sunday couldn't. You mean that movie came out?
Yeah,
and,
but they
like,
wanted to use the brands and the teams and stuff. Like, talk in a movie, you're allowed to mention a game that's going on as the character's dialogue.
But attaching gambling to it is very taboo with them, right?
No,
Not with the NFL?
Now it's sports gambling became legalized. That's why, like in New Jersey, you can go on DraftKings and you can bet on your app through DraftKings or whatever. I think like there's a lot of the sports gambling is blown up, and it's super popular, making a shit ton of money. And the NFL is all part of it. I mean, the NFL went and partners with DraftKings and FanDuel and shit like that because they realized it was advantageous for them. What happened?
That's the old witch one?
Yeah,
I found
I got a
the
red
old-
shirt on today too. I look just like.
I found the old witch.
Oh, lumpy.
It does kind of look like an old witch.
Yeah, I got witch fingers. I have one Mondo boob.
Yeah, it's just one boob. There's no separation. That's the way I like it, though. Two's too many.
What about 3?
No, like Total Recall.
Yeah.
Three's just right.
Remember when that happened in Total Recall? I remember watching it. I was like, when did Total Recall come out? 90.
You could titty fuck left and right. You know, like that's a.
I've never seen that movie.
Yeah, or
You've never seen the original Total Recall?
You could titty fuck with your bros if you get skinny asses.
That's a classic.
You know?
Or no, you go one way, one the other.
No, never face ways. That's you're standing in the splash
Close your
zone.
eyes, right?
Splash
or
zone.
look down.
Splash zone. It's like being at the Shamu show. You gotta
It
get
was 1990.
4 rows
Total
back.
Recall.
Everyone knows. Get
I
out
was
of the
like
yellow
8 years
lines.
old when I watched that.
Really? That's what made you
Did
a
you
man.
see that at the theater? Or?
Not in the theater. I saw it at home, but I was younger than I should have been because I remember seeing the titties as a kid and be like, "Whoa, shouldn't see that."
Hold on, just a little bit more here.
And Henry gives him the old line about the blood rushing up to his head.
Oh, there he goes.
That's when I hear
There
in
he
my head
goes.
when my wife talks about it.
Henry's bored. He wants a holiday. He's all on edge and his heart's not in his work. See, it's just no go.
Oh, shit!
I don't want to watch this.
This is my God.
This is awful.
Yeah, my head hurts.
That looks like I do.
Oh, he fell on his head. Pretty soon he'll have his own podcast and forget how to log into his SunTrust account.
I'm sure he murdered that monkey after that.
Oh, he's mad.
Wow, that's 2 misses for Charlie. It looks like somebody's getting a big-time blood whooping.
Look how much that dog looks like Lena, by the way. It looks exactly like Lena.
Oh yeah, it did look like Lena the dog.
Anyway.
Whatever happened to Lena? Dead. She's
what-
at that great beach in the sky.
Who's the maddest man in traffic?
Oh, we felt me and Travis and Samantha saw the maddest man in the world. Not even the maddest man in traffic. The most angry human.
Yeah.
In I don't know how many years I've been driving. 42 years on the planet. This is the most angry person.
Well, what do you do?
So we pulled up. We're at here in Orlando. For those of you that don't know Orlando, we're just like in a popular cross street, and I was taking them by to see the old Studio One, my old house behind Park Ave CDs. And
Were you on like the Tom and Dan tour?
well, no, but I
We
told
were
Sam.
coming back from Fairville, and
Yeah.
it was on the way.
Yeah, it was on the way back.
Let me show you the old studio.
Well, Sam and I talked about it, and we were just talking about housing prices and stuff like that. I was talking about how ridiculous the price was for how tiny my house was.
Yeah.
So we're driving that way. Well, we got to one road and we stopped, and there was a guy, like he stopped, and then what was it? Was it a?
It was a school zone.
It was a school zone.
There was a crossing guard there, but the traffic oncoming to him, so parallel to or perpendicular to us, the guy across from him just stopped. But there was no stop sign, no light, no nothing. But I think he saw the crossing guard, so maybe he thought he had to stop. But the crossing guard was just standing off to the side. He wasn't doing anything. So he just stopped, and he's just chilling. So then the other guy that's trying to turn left down to where we are just starts screaming out the window.
I'll do an impression. I'm going to do an impression of I hope it doesn't bother our neighbors. No exaggeration. I can't do it because first of all, I'd need to be completely red-faced, eyes bulging out like Beavis and Butthead teacher. And he was like, "Motherfucking car! You goddamn motherfucking yeah!"
And he's like,
There's that.
he was screaming, he's like, "There's no stop sign, just fucking go!"
And he goes, "You fucking
And then the
And
car,
I'm like,
the
what?
car
And
slowly starts to
and
move.
then we were sitting there, and then we just started
We were
laughing.
all quiet as fuck
I have
until he
never-
turned next to us, and we looked at him, and we just started dying.
And
laughing.
he was hunch driving, like,
He was angry.
Was
he
he,
was-
in like were his windows down?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
windows down.
my God.
It was out the window.
It was the most angry human being I've ever seen.
motherfucker!
It was so loud. We had all our windows up, air conditioning blasting, radio on, and could hear
Yeah.
him like he was in my ear. That's how loud he was.
Was it a blue Silverado?
No, but it was a gray, like I want to say, like an older Corolla of some
Yeah,
sort.
yeah.
Small Japanese car. This was the angriest person I have ever encountered.
People live their life that way. And I don't know how. How could you live your life where you get that angry? Just like the guy's probably driving a Winn-Dixie. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not. I understand if like you have a super stressful situation going on, and you're running late, and a lot of things are. There's scenarios where maybe that is justified to scream, but.
I don't get uncomfortable, but I was a little. I didn't even know what to think because I have a temper. Like, admittedly, I know I have a temper. Butler says he has a temper. temper. We'd never seen anything like it. This was the craziest shit I'd ever seen in my life. For a split second, I thought this motherfucker's gonna get out of his car and start killing people.
I did too.
It was that close. Like
I think that's why we were all quiet. Yeah, we were like, holy shit, he might actually get out of his car.
Sam is exactly right. We were the three of us in that car. He was so angry that we were actually fight or flight surveying the scenario to see if I needed to like back up. You know, like they do that move because no one's behind me, and I just start backing up, and I'm like, guys, just hold on. And I do the fucking Knight Rider out of there. I would have done it too because I was like, what is happening right now? And the crossing guard was there. It was like
poor crossing guard.
Oh, he was a big, fat, lumpy guy. He's standing there. He's just got his stop sign.
Oh, he's hiding behind the stop sign. Yeah.
Well, that was interesting.
What do you do?
So sad.
Did he see you laughing at him?
The guy? No, he was fixated.
Oh, okay.
He was fucking white knuckling and just. Like every turn was excruciating. Like, I'm turning.
If you have a temper that bad, like obviously that is some sort of mental problem, you know, where you get that worked up over small things.
And there are a heart attack and die.
Yeah, there are people that have
even telling that story, trying to be him is like affected me.
How old was he?
Oh, my age.
Mid-30s?
Yeah, mid-30s.
My age.
Oh, okay.
I'd say 35, 45.
Yeah.
Somewhere in there.
If you're that guy, what is the solution to that mental problem? Like, is there some sort of medication?
Medical
you can
marijuana.
Yeah,
you can go get
that. Maybe do some meditation, some therapy.
I think that guy's got it.
You need some chemical help with that.
I think you got to go to a real doctor.
You need to go talk it out.
Anger management class.
A therapist.
Yeah, that's the worst I've ever seen. Like honestly, like I if he had gotten out of his car,
what would you have done?
Well, I would have done the whole. I would have just reversed and tried to get us out of there.
Call
but
the cops, right?
You run over.
I had you guys call the cops. Why? Not in my car. I don't want to ruin my car with some angry guy.
He did move where you hit his legs and then his back hits the windshield, cracks it. Then you stop to roll him off.
I do that move where I ram into him, but then he's stuck to my glass. He's like, "When you stop, I'm gonna fucking kill you." So I would have backed up and then had you guys call the cops. But if he'd gotten out and had a gun, it wouldn't have surprised me. It's not like I would have been like, "Oh." I would have been like, "Yep, that's what's happening." You know, like I was already committed to this. This is gonna go poorly. Now, luckily, the guy did move his car. Then he turned white knuckled it around the corner, and then, fast as hell. This tiny little car. That's the people that drive the fastest in cities are the people with the shittiest tiny cars.
No.
You ever notice that?
Big trucks are sometimes like that,
Big trucks are sluggish, though. This guy, like, literally, I don't think he has two go modes. It's like pedal down, pedal up. I don't think there's he's not moving it. He's not braking. He's not coasting at all.
That is, I don't.
You're the exact opposite of this guy, by the way.
Yeah. I don't have a temper like that. And I don't even understand.
We pulled up next to you in traffic and you didn't even notice.
You were on the phone.
Yeah, we were just staring at you.
Tony, I'm trying to find a venue.
I am very aloof from the fact that I don't notice anything going on around me most of the time. Like,
you probably wouldn't even notice this guy.
No. I've never gotten road rage or gotten mad at traffic or screamed or whatever.
Well, I found out something when we told this story. Samantha says her husband is very similar to this gentleman, right?
Yeah, he's gotten a lot
better. Good. That's
he never rolled down the window and screamed at people like that. He gets mad.
My dad used to. My dad used to window down, scream. I remember one time my dad pulled over the side of the road with me and Mom in the car coming back from down the hatch. I know I've said that before, but that's how many times we were going there. Pulled over, a guy pulled over. My dad just got out like he's going to go fight the guy. I'm like, oh, my God.
Yeah, that's too far. Never get out of the car.
Yeah, my mom's like, Dad!
My wife will do the move.
I think the guy did something, like flashed a knife or something, and Dad got it. He's like, oh, motherfucker, get the fuck out of here. Fuck that. I'm going to yell at him.
If someone's tailgating her, she'll do that stomping the brakes.
I do brake check.
Do that.
I know. I tell her. I'm like, what the fuck?
I do brake check.
She can't help herself.
Get off my ass, motherfucker.
Yeah. I just go slower.
Yeah, that's what I do.
I don't do the brake check. But
I just go even slower.
Just go even slower.
I like the brake check because I'm hoping.
Right in the back of you.
No, I'm hoping it's be their fault. I'm hoping
I don't want to deal with that headache.
Because I was trying to avoid an accident in front of me. I'll just say that. I was like, I was responsibly driving. Like, I'm hoping that if I brake check them, they got a hot coffee in their hand.
And I'm like, well, that's where you escalate the situation to murder. The problem is that's where when the road rage incidents happen, it's usually they've already escalated the situation from the initial. Like if you cut someone off or you're like tailgating someone, that's not going to cause murder to happen. What's going to cause murder is then fucking around, brake checking. Then I've seen cars that are like racing past each other to like try to get in front of him, and then brake check, and then.
Oh, my dad used to. That was
then
one of his big ones.
it
He'd
escalates-
pass on the right, get in front of you, and then slow down, make you pass, and then do it again.
Yeah,
brake check.
that's what escalates
Yeah.
the situation till you pull over, and then both of them are shooting each other.
Yeah.
It's, and then you're like in jail for forever. Your family's ruined. Everything. You're like, what? Was
Well,
this
it
worth
depends.
it?
It depends. You know, do you think there's ever been a guy that did that who would be like, I'd do it again?
Mentally ill someone, but how could you?
Can he predict football games?
Then I come in.
That's
I'm the
story.
janitor. We may have to film this themselves.
It's gonna be rough. Kevin, I know this set looks a little lame, but trust me,
We're
this
going
is
for
a-
authenticity here.
This is a mid-level Nikon we're shooting on. It'll be fine.
What's Tyra Banks theme park?
Yeah, can you look that up, Sam? Tyra Banks is starting a theme park.
Really?
Like based around modeling.
Like a modeling theme park?
Yeah.
Like the only thing for sale at all the concession stands are
Pictures of
saltine
yourself.
crackers and
Yeah.
Adderall.
Danishes and cocaine.
Then there's like a vomitorium for
Yeah.
you go in there.
Vomitory.
Yeah, there used
Puke
to
out
be
your food.
vomitoriums, but I don't think you vomited in the
No,
vomitorium.
no.
Yeah, I got that wrong.
So she wants to build a theme park based around modeling for
Yeah, Sam,
who?
what is that one?
I got the Wheel of Death, so
Oh,
I'm gonna
hold
try my phone instead.
What are you doing news now?
Yeah.
Like there's
Oh, got his feelings there, little baby.
well, what's the
It's like Dolly World?
well, yeah, but
It's called Model Land.
okay, great of
So
name, by
far,
the way.
mwah,
Yeah, yeah.
magnifique.
And what all models do is walk down a
They
runway
rock the Casbah.
and then turn around. It's not like how can you incorporate anything else that would be interesting or themed out to a model's life?
Here's what she said. She said, I created the TV show America's Next Top Model to expand the definition of beauty based on my own pain of being told no, that I couldn't do something because I'm curvy or I'm black, Banks told Woman Wear Daily. My empathy for women in general increased through the experience, and now with Model Land, I'm taking it 10 steps forward, giving people the opportunity to engage with the elusive world by opening it up to everybody.
So wait,
Told
It
me
looks
nothing.
like it's basically just you go there and you get a makeover.
All right.
Yeah.
Well,
And
there are plenty of places
attraction
in
will-
Orlando right now, salons that will do that right now.
So
They have
the
The
makeup artists.
attraction will intersect a fantasy version of the modeling world.
Melissa
with a
Soroka can do
state-of-the-art
that right now. There you go, model.
Interactive entertainment, creative collaborations, curated retail, dining, and special events.
so where's it at?
California.
okay, so
Santa Monica Pier.
here's
It's less of a theme park, more of a, let's call it a theme park to get
It's like
press.
adult,
Yes, sir.
adult American Girl doll
Santa Monica.
place.
it's
that's
it's
pretty good.
Where you like women will go, they get a full makeover, then they maybe set up the catwalk, so then they
It's glamour shots.
and then you
Pretend
walk.
to be a model.
Yes, pretend to be a model. That fantasy.
That's
Yeah.
dumb. Who's gonna pay for that?
There are a lot of rich guys.
People, yeah, a
will
lot of
do-
people pay for that.
Well, they don't know what to get their wives.
I'd love to say it's a bad idea, but that's two. In fact, I put this one a little bit better than Tom's movie.
Although
Oh.
it's like for the person that's doing it, are you able to
It's like
suspend
fantasy,
belief?
fantasy baseball
Yeah.
camp is all it is, right?
Yes, yeah.
But it's for girls.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, like the tyrant slapped my face and say it's for every we do not exclude. But it's primarily, I'd say women would want to do it.
So, but okay, is that the height of being like? I thought the best part of being a model would be just
Banging the hot dudes.
well, the glamour behind it, which is not necessarily the catwalk. It's like everything that comes with it. It's dating the baseball player. It's the millions of dollars
yeah,
you make.
it's having tea with Karl Lagerfeld.
It's,
stuff
it's,
like that.
It's the being on the magazine, like walking down the runway, turning around, walking back. That's probably the worst part of the job, right?
Yeah.
Like, so why would you make that?
They probably
They probably
But
like
that's
the
the job.
that.
You know,
You
if the
get-
crowd's
the
going
photo-
crazy,
and the
except if you're wearing that
photographers-
blackface Gucci sweater, don't wear that.
Yeah.
That's bad.
But yeah, so like, and so you're just literally walking out, turning around, walking back.
Everybody's watching you. They're taking
Yeah.
photos.
You're all
you get a
glammed up.
So they like
makeover.
that. Hold on, your
Rock
wife.
star status.
My wife did
you're
it, yeah.
with the hair modeling.
Yeah, she did. But no, they made her look like a candy unicorn or some shit.
Yeah.
And she's walking around with thigh-high boots on.
What'd you think of that?
She loved it. Well, I liked it because they jacked her up really high, where like she could put her pussy on my head.
So did she?
That's how tall she was.
Did she like that part?
Oh yeah,
okay.
yeah.
So maybe I
Crowd's
don't know.
going crazy. She's dressed up like a cotton candy humanoid. or something.
Yeah.
I'll find a picture. I'll
No,
what
I
was
know
it for? What was that for?
It was for Robert Cromines and Paul Mitchell. So Robert Croming's this crazy kilt wearing hair designer. And he went out there and he cut, and then at the end he wanted to show all of his new creations.
Because your wife has abnormally voluptuous hair.
Oh, it's like a lion, man.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Super
you
thick.
find it between my toes. It's in my fucking foreskin, up my butt.
Yeah.
It's everywhere. Caesar the dog ate a ball of it, and he almost died the other night. He's like coughing at her hair. It's everywhere. Our whole house. People complain about dog hair. We got Andrea hair.
So maybe, Samantha, would you like that if, like, someone...
I would never pay for that, no.
No, well, not pay for it. What if someone, like, okay, what if that was a Orlando attraction and they want to do an advertising thing with us, and then they're like, hey, we'll have Samantha come out.
If they pay me.
Yeah, they give you a talent fee or whatever.
Yeah,
but
it's not something I'd want to do.
Okay,
I'd get the makeover, but I don't want to do a whole...
The walking
thing.
And, but you're right. Maybe some people, their dream was to be on the catwalk and have a bunch of photographers take pictures.
I'm sure they do other stuff, like maybe they give you like a faux magazine cover or something.
Yeah. They just
They
Photoshop
used to do
you.
that at the theme park that I went to
Did they?
growing up, where you could be like on the cover of the Muscle World or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, they probably do. Because what else are you going to do there?
Yeah, you're right.
They're not putting out a lot of information about it, so...
And that is literally the only thing I know models do. That and
here's a
photo
picture
shoots
of it so you guys can see. It'll be up on the screen. I put it up so Twitch could see. So this is my wife right here, and then she's dressed like she's got cotton candy, weird. She's got on these fucking platforms, and they're dressed like Cirque du Soleil.
Remember when we had who is the
that's me.
The designers we had in here when I was wearing his kimono.
Oh my God, I forgot his name.
Oh yeah,
and we were like,
damn it.
But that is something that happens in our culture or whatever that I literally can't wrap my
fashion.
Yeah, fashion.
Yeah.
But this
I could tell by the shirt.
No,
she hates that shirt.
I understand. When we talked to Kramer about
you look
men's
like
fashion,
Nick Nolte today.
But
Kramer loves it. It's got
but this is not. But here's the thing: how they dressing Andrea up is like a crazy
it's
clown.
like Cirque du Soleil.
Yeah.
The whole theme was like they play and they play music.
So that's what I don't
I'll
understand.
find the song too, and you'll understand the vibe a little more. They play this music, and she's walking to it. It was like super sexy, you know.
But it's not even something that people can buy. Like I understand,
was that a real fashion show?
Yeah. They do this at fashion show. Every fashion show I see on TV, the people are dressed ridiculous, like wearing shit that nobody would wear in real life, and that's what I don't understand. Like, what is this? Like, what are we trying to do here? Like, what are they presenting? And everybody's taking pictures, and they're like, what? Like, they're dressed like a fucking tree, and I'm like, what's happening? And I don't understand it.
So they played this.
And then
I think it was the remixed version, though.
But yeah,
here it is. Wrong one. It's this one. Shirley Bassey.
Okay.
You know, so like
Sounds
it's
like
all
a
dark,
James
right?
Bond.
Yeah, it is. For me, it's all dark, and then like these lights are going crazy, strobes. And this comes in, the fucking curtain opens up, my wife walks out as a clown, and I'm like, oh yeah, put your pussy on my head.
but what are they trying to do? That's what I don't...
He was showing off like and then he was up there cutting hair to this, he's throwing it into the crowd, and he's throwing scissors into the crowd.
But that's the thing, he's showing off...
He did, he threw
Like
scissors into the
Ninja
crowd. I made jokes about that. I was like you gotta, it's the insurance when you're throwing scissors into the crowd.
Well, I understand, like, I don't even understand that. Is it showing off the hairdo, but why is she dressed like a Cirque du Soleil clown? I don't understand.
Well, my point to her was, like, you're at a hair show, you've got voluptuous hair, then they put a cotton top wig on you.
Yeah.
I'm like, how does that show your
hair?
hair?
That's what I'm saying. It's
and
all
she's
nonsense.
Like, it's fashion.
Yeah, but what does that mean?
Whatever. I don't
I'll
know.
never understand it because no one has ever been able to explain to me, like, this is the deal. Like, this is why we do. Like, every other thing, okay.
It's their version of art.
Yeah, it's art. It's like what we do, but just not as cool.
Well, okay. So it's like an art. You go to art gallery, there's a bunch of, like, paintings of just splatter, and they're like, hey, this is.
Right.
Okay. Okay. All right.
No.
That at least. All right.
Well done.
I think it can inspire other designers as well. You see something up there like, oh, I like that. I'll incorporate this into my thing. But it might not be something you actually wear.
Okay. Yeah. Samantha just telling me it's art, and there's a better explanation.
Okay.
Because then it just means
yeah,
they're
fuck
just
you.
They're presenting some human art.
Yeah, I mean, it was like, look, I was there. I also got, remember the
Did
story?
you
I also
enjoy
got
it?
jealous when she walked down with the guy that was dressed in the tuxedo. Remember how jealous I got?
Well, I remember you telling me about it.
Yeah, stormed out of there.
Did you storm out?
Oh, I stormed the fuck out.
Oh,
It's her first day at her new job. I'd love to call her and rehash all of this. If it comes up occasionally, it's one of the only things. It's
You
like
stormed out.
this is my Antonio.
That
No,
is-
this is my Antonio.
Well, I don't even care. I
No,
talk
but
about
she brings
Antonio.
it up. She's like, I wish you hadn't have stormed out. You made a scene in front of the Redkin booth.
Well, that's
or whatever the
Come
fuck,
on.
you know, the
I-
Aveda booth.
It
You
was
know, like
just somebody else in the show.
Yeah, but she was like, they were holding, each other, as they were
Yeah, but
walking.
it's a show.
I don't give a
He
fuck.
was escorting
It's
her.
like
She was
you
that-
with your wife saying "Mister" to another man. You hate that.
Well, that's
We are
a joke.
extremely jealous and possessive of our slaves.
What if she was
that
in
is
like
not
a
true.
play or something? Would you freak out? If
In a
she-
play? No,
Yeah.
it's fine.
And she kissed somebody in the
And she had
play.
to kiss somebody.
I'd
That's the same
I'd
thing.
probably have
What
a
if they
problem
had
with
to
it.
pretend to have sex?
I'd have a problem with that.
Well, he stormed out just from her walking hand to hand with
Yeah.
a runway model.
Actually,
Backstage.
I did one worse. I don't know if I've ever said this on the show. As they were, I saw them. They were in a line. They were coming down to greet all the people. They do, like models do at the end, where then the designer comes out. And then the models all are out with them, and they're all like hugging. It's like the afterwards part of Saturday Night Live, where the band's playing the saxophone solo, and they're all hugging.
It's their time to, like, at the end of a play.
Yeah,
they
yeah.
just bow.
Yeah,
to
so
the-
they were coming down an escalator to be greeted by the press or whoever was taking the photos. And so they were coming down the bottom escalator. I went up the up escalator so I would be with them. And I fucking eyeballed them all the way up. And then I came back down.
That's nuts, bro.
It is nuts.
Yeah. I'm
When
surprised she
when
married
I look
crazy.
back on it and tell this story, I'm not proud of it.
Yeah,
At least I'm willing to share.
So what? I have another question. What if
Sure.
you're at like a wedding and let's say we're all at a wedding,
Yeah.
and I asked your wife to dance? Would that freak you out?
No.
What
All
if,
right.
what if they're like really bumping and grinding?
No,
Well, what
I
are they
wouldn't do
doing? What are
that.
they doing? The lambada?
What if it
What's
was
he
like
got his big old bust dong out and he's whacking her ass with it?
Or what if she's like a maid of honor and somebody else in the other wedding party has to like walk?
Oh,
around
that's
her?
fine. Yeah.
That's
So what,
okay.
what's the problem with this guy?
I don't know. I was triggered. I have no idea.
Yeah, that is.
Maybe it was because it was a new relationship. Maybe it was because it was one of the first times that I realized that I had a connection to her and I loved her. You know what I mean? I think there was a lot going because we weren't as tight as obviously we're tighter now, but it was just the beginning of us getting ultra close. So I think that had something to do with it. I think I had feelings for her, and seeing that, I realized, oh my shit, I better fucking jump on this, literally. Well, so I don't lose a good thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
but
I think it was a connection there. Was it wrong? Absolutely. I'm flawed human being.
That's what I don't get about
Shouldn't have done it,
guys'
but I did it.
jealousy is like in that situation or other situations where it's like this guy's just there doing his job as a model too, and he's just like, and they were just like, hey, yeah, walk hand in hand. They're walking like, and I don't understand. Like,
you son of a bitch.
did you think the guy who was gonna then take Andrea from you?
It's not rational, dude.
I know. Yeah.
Were you like that guy in the car next to you?
No, I didn't. No, mine was silent and stares and more uncomfortable. Actually, what that guy did was probably more acceptable than what I did. Like riding the escalator up as they were coming down to greet whomever, like to talk about the show, and I'm like, I'm doing that move.
Do you think he knew that you were mad at him?
Oh yeah, I let him know.
Oh
Yeah,
really?
yeah,
Was
he
he
Oh,
like?
you told him?
Well, afterwards, when all the guys and the girls from the modeling thing were all walking around there getting selfies and pictures of each other, I made sure to walk up, and he was talking to her, and I did that move where they're face to face, and I just stepped in front, and I'm like, hey, you did such a great job with like, and then she was like, this is, I was like, I don't care. Like I did one of those.
Yeah, that is true. I'm
I mean,
surprised she married you.
It gets a lot worse.
Yeah,
The more questions you ask, the more I'll bare my soul. I mean, be careful.
It's a
you are waiting.
little R. Kelly-ish.
No, it's not. I didn't pee in her mouth, bro.
Oh, well, then not yet. I'm
working on it. I'm working on it. Pretty soon.
I have more questions, but I won't ask.
You can ask. Oh, please.
Did you leave separately?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
So like she was in one car, you were in another.
Yeah.
That's
I need to ask her
definitely
why. Then did you?
Why
You
did
should have
she
realized,
come?
like, hey, this guy's crazy.
No,
like,
I've never done anything like that ever again. Like I don't know. It was just I was on my period or something. I was having a moment. I don't know. I think I realized that I truly loved her.
Okay.
And then I felt like anything could be a threat, and I didn't want to fuck it up. That's that. I mean, if I'm really gonna.
But it sounds like you were fucking it up by doing that.
Yeah,
But that's what people do, right?
Self-sabotage.
Isn't that what you
Yeah.
do? I mean, like, as much as you try hard to hold on to something you think is great, a lot of times you make really poor choices because your emotions take over, not your intelligence. And I was
irrational.
definitely running. I was running on pure emotion, not on anything up here.
Well, speaking of your wife, what is this? You and your wife have a theory that good recognizes
No,
good.
I have a theory about this because my wife did something that I've done before, but I've never had anything good happen with it. My wife went to Target and they had bubbly on sale. So she bought a bunch of bubbly. I'm talking like 4 6-packs. Or 4 12-packs, of bubbly, and put it under the cart. So she went there to get Maisie some shoes or something like that. And then as she was leaving, she loaded up her car and then left. And then remember she came over here and was hanging out and she was like, doing stuff for us and talking to us that day that she was off.
Yeah.
Then she realized drinking a bubbly here that like hours ago, she'd left all the bubbly under the cart.
At the grocery store.
Yeah, and she told me, she's like, I left the bubbly under the cart at Target, and I was like, oh, it's fucking gone. Like, you might as well go back and buy some more.
Yeah.
And she was like, well, no, and she's so good. And she's like, well, no, let me call him and find out. And she called, hi there. That's how she talks. Hi there. I was there a couple of, maybe 3 or 4 hours ago, and I had bought some bubbly, and I left it under my cart, and I was just calling to see maybe, I know nobody probably did, but just seeing if somebody turned it in. Oh, they did? Oh, you have a set aside up front? Okay, I'll be right there. And I'm like, that shit would never happen to me.
Well,
I think it's good recognizes good. I think she's a good person, so there's good energy on her bubbly cans.
Yeah.
Did I say
I don't
that?
know.
And then
I have
a good
questions
person
here.
found it and turned it in.
Because
And by turned it, I mean
you
turned.
said turned it in. So she had it under the bottom rack of the cart,
Yeah.
right? But then did she not return the cart to the cart? That you would see it when you
No,
pushed it.
I left
No.
a 12-pack of High Life one time.
Really?
Underneath. Yeah.
High Life.
Yeah. Didn't see it.
because
Didn't get that one back, though.
sometimes you're not, you're like, you can't see through the cart really. And
What?
then you have to.
It's bars.
True, but you wouldn't
No,
notice
at
it.
Target, it's that weavy plastic.
Oh, the
The
red
red.
weed.
It's hard to look through.
Yeah.
You get busy, you're not
lattice
paying
style.
attention.
Also, I have a theory that most people are good. And
I think you're right.
And the world.
I just don't meet any of them.
The world's ruined by a small percentage of bad people, but I think I remember Adam Carolla did some bit for the Man Show. He talks about like they were leaving wallets around town, and there would be like $5 or $10 in them, but there would be a card or something in there that said like, hey, if you find this, call this number or whatever. And the vast majority of people would call the number and leave the money inside too. Like, hey, I found your wallet here. Like most people are good and will do the right thing if given the chance. So it's like, if you see some bubbly or whatever, maybe not go out of the way, but they probably told like, an employee or a bag boy like, hey, someone left that. And
Or
then
they maybe grabbed the cart and took it in.
I just felt like I don't know. It made me feel good because it was a lot. It was free. It was already there. I mean, if you like the stuff, and I know a lot of people do, it's very popular now. You could have just loaded it right into your car.
Right,
Nobody's going to
yeah,
question it.
exactly.
True. So I was actually quite surprised, especially at the particular Target she was at. Not necessarily. I don't run into the nicest people there. I have another Target that I don't talk about that has the nice people at it.
What's the nicest thing? We probably should have thought about this. It's hard to think of on the fly, but the nicest thing some other person has ever done for you, purely out of just being a good person. I have one.
I'd say married me after I stared.
That's true. Yeah. I remember, I've told the story before, but I was fell on some financial hard times back when I worked with a radio station, and I needed to pay my rent. By the way, at the time, the Heroin Alley house, my rent was like $680 a month, and it was for a fucking 2-bedroom, 1 bath. Actually, 3-bedroom, 1 bath.
Things were cheaper back then.
I know. But this 2004.
Yeah.
Simpler time.
True. But anyway, I mentioned I needed to sell my dirt bike because it's the only thing I had of money or of value, and so I said I need to sell it. Some guy emailed me or called. I think it was when I was answering the calls. He's like, "Hey, drunkie, I'll buy your dirt bike, whatever. I'll come there. I'll come there after the show or tomorrow. Just bring it to the station." So I brought it to the station in the back of my truck, and then the person came at the end of the show. I met him. He's like a construction worker dude. I think he owned maybe something. He had money, but he came there, and I was charging myself for like $800 or whatever to pay my rent. And then he gave me the $800, and I was trying to unload it out of my truck. He's like, "Nah, just keep it. Take care of yourself."
I remember that.
And he just gave me $800. And
that's
then,
really cool.
And I remember being like, "Fucking hey, this guy." a fucking nice thing to do for a random stranger you hear on the fucking radio.
So tell your wife to meet me up at the Luray Motel.
I still want to find. I would like to shake that man's hand, and give him back his $800.
I was gonna say all you're gonna do is shake his hand.
That'll help it. Yeah.
Here's some free T-shirts.
Yeah, when people say that, I always I laugh. It's like, I'd like to shake that man's hand. It saved my life. Really?
So you never heard from him again?
No,
Never.
I have no idea.
Wow.
Yeah. It was back in the day where
He's dead, bro.
there was no social media or anything, so it's not like it was easy to keep up with him.
He's been hanging around a church.
I think he probably lost his ass.
Those are my kids. I own them. 400 apiece.
It was a couple years before the recession, so he probably fell on some hard times if he owned a construction
There was
company.
a point where he thought about that. He was like, fuck.
800.
He was as mad as
ruined
that
his
guy
life.
in traffic.
But doing some like random nice things, it makes me want to do that for people. But I
not
don't.
really.
No, I usually don't.
You want to take a little break, buddy?
Yes, I do.
We probably should. Let's see. We got really good music this week. Have you heard of Rat Boy?
Rat Boy?
Mm-hmm.
I have not.
It's like punk and it's like hip hop and rock and roll, and I believe he's from England. And this is my pick of the week. Enjoy this. It's got a reggae flavor to it. 1-844-TOMNDAN or show@TomandDan.com if you want to get in an email. We'll be right back with more Mediocre Time with Tom and Dan. All right. That is Moving Panoramas with ADD Hart. Welcome back to A Mediocre Time with Tom and Dan. I am Dan.
I'm Tom.
Samantha's here. The bus techer's here. The butler's here. Special guests are sitting in. Chris Fisher from BYOCB podcast is around the corner somewhere.
Yeah.
He's popping in and out. So we got a packed house today, but welcome back to the show. And did we talk about Porky's?
Not yet. Porky's tonight. If you want to swing by, Samantha is going to be out there. I know Tony's going to. He's going to bring some those koozies to give away. And
16
He's also
years.
got some pins for sale.
Yeah, he's got those BDM pens. Can you snag me one of those?
Yeah.
And I will gladly pay for it though. So because all that money goes back into like a slush fund sort of for BDM events. So those pens, we don't get any of that money. That's all. Tony's keeping that. So when we do events, we can buy you guys cool shit.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a way to give back. Also, 16-year anniversary for Porky's.
Yeah. Wow. And I think I'm going to swing out there and have a beer with some people. Also,
Get a margarita.
Yeah,
Get the
you got the shirt on, buddy. Get that margarita on.
You do.
Yeah,
It's 6:30 somewhere, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna do. We're gonna do some mail on mail or news.
It's up to you, man. Your call.
What do you want to? What do you
I'll
want
let
to
you choose.
Mail?
Right, Samantha, you choose. Mail on mail or news?
News?
News.
All right.
I like that. You choose. I don't want to go to Olive Garden.
Hey.
News today brought to you by Precision Door. It's our garage door sponsor, but they wanted us to let everybody know that they're hiring. I know Big Tim works for Precision, and we got some other BDMs that work for Precision, but they got health benefits, 401k plan, company vehicle. They train you in-house. If you have any construction experience, that's preferred, but give them a call, 407-710-BDMS. That's 407-710-2367. That's actually go directly to Big Tim, and he will let you know all the information. But I know they're a really good company, and they're growing crazy fast. So if you don't like your job, maybe Precision Door will be the solution to that problem. All right, first story.
All right, first story. This one's kind of the big story going on right now. Jeff Bezos, the owner of Amazon and the Washington Post, is accusing the publisher of the National Enquirer of extortion and blackmail. He says the tabloid threatened to publish intimate photos of him unless he stopped investigating how the Enquirer obtained his private exchanges with his mistress.
What?
So you following all that?
No.
Like,
Can you slow that down just or at least explain it to me? How about that?
So basically,
I got it.
Yeah. So he did this all in a blog post on Thursday. So the National Enquirer came out with a story a few weeks ago that he was cheating on his wife. They're actually getting a divorce now. Bezos' wife.
Yeah, we knew that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was because of
gotta be rich.
Part of this was this story in the Enquirer. Well, anyway, the Enquirer says they had more things that they were going to release. So they have some intimate photos of him, apparently. Quote, below the belt selfies of Jeff Bezos.
Oh, he's sending dick
Is
pics.
that called a selfie?
So
if it's part of yourself.
So through this whole email
Do
exchange,
you need to send dick pics if you're Jeff Bezos? I
You
feel
sounded
like
very Cosby
You don't
there.
even send them if you're anybody.
need to send
I feel like once you got over 50 billion, I don't
that's
think
your
you
dick pic right there.
You don't need to show any
Yeah.
dick.
Yeah,
Just
send me a
hand
picture
her-
of your money.
Roll up a receipt, and there's your dick. Right
So
there.
in the first, back on January 9th,
Deposit
there was a
slip.
story that came out with some private text messages. So Jeff Bezos kind of sent his personal folks out to figure out, how did you guys get these?
Right.
So then the Enquirer came back and they said, well, if you keep looking into this, we're going to expose some more things.
I'm not sure I'd be fucking around with Jeff Bezos.
And so he just said, you know what? I'm just going to go public with all these sort of exchanges with these emails that we've been doing. And so he wrote this big long blog post about what the National Enquirer has been doing to him. So
kind of
it's all
extorting him
met-
in a weird way, right?
Basically,
It
yeah.
sounds like maybe his
Blackmail.
mistress
As a
was
mess.
giving him all this information.
So they think it's his mistress's brother.
Oh.
Yeah, she's like a former TV anchor, and she's very attractive. If you
Yeah,
look
of
up
course.
a photo of her,
Yeah. What's her name?
Lauren Sanchez. Yeah, Lauren Sanchez or Lauren. And so they're not sure. They said his phone wasn't hacked,
First one that pops up.
but it might have been his brother. So they're just going back and forth. So
Yeah,
there'll be
There you
more
go.
of that.
There's
br-
a little.
the
there's
brother
a little Lauren Sanchez.
Gets a
Very
hold
beautiful.
of her phone and then sends himself the dick pics and then like, hey, I got Jeff Bezos'
Exactly.
dick pics. That's worth some money. He sold that to the National Enquirer. The thing is, if you're Jeff Bezos, here's you're the richest man in the world,
Yeah,
right?
pretty much.
And
What's that? 24-hour Mexican restaurant called?
Taco Bell?
Is it Betos?
Oh yeah, Bezos. Yeah.
I want to be Jeff Betos.
that is different.
That'd be funny though, right?
Yeah.
Never
But
mind.
it's
Be happy.
couldn't you, with all the money in the world, essentially, you're the most powerful money-wise person in the United States, at least in the world. Couldn't you figure out a different way? Like, couldn't you just buy the National Enquirer, like and then
Good
shut them
point.
down?
Yeah,
like,
he owns the Washington Post. He could just buy the National Enquirer.
Like that's essentially
Well,
what.
don't they have? It has to be for sale, right?
yeah, I mean, well, everything's for sale. Ted DiBiase, the $1 Million Man, you just say everybody has a price.
Yeah. And also everything.
What a quote.
Like they would have to like agree to sell it, but there's ways around. Like you could buy up all the companies that actually print or what there's other ways to shut them down,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
With unlimited money.
Yeah, there's some political things here too, because Jeff Bezos owns the Washington Post, and the owner of National Enquirer is a huge Trump
Yeah.
supporter. There's all these
I think
different
that's probably more
layers of
to it.
things
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
And so instead of him sort of saying, "Yeah, I'll go along with this," he said, "You know what? I'm just going to put it all out there, and we'll see what happens."
Couldn't you?
I like that.
Yeah.
He should. I don't understand why he just doesn't release the photos.
Well, I don't know.
Like I would just release them, beat them to the punch, and say like, "Look, yeah, that's my dick, and this is the girl I'm dating, and I'm worth like all the money, So there it is. Now you have nothing.
True.
Fuck you.
It's
Yeah.
what David Letterman did basically, which is once you
Admit it and move on.
Well, once you announce it, you take their power away. Or why not just?
There's some of her too, apparently.
Oh, really?
yeah.
Well, she's like she's just the guy fucking the most rich guy in the world, so not as no one really cares.
They're
but-
both married, or they were married at the
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
She's married too.
Oh, so they were both cheating.
Yeah.
Well,
Former
that
TV
happens.
anchor.
It's
who
not
was
like people
also
Man,
don't
that
do
brother's
that.
a dickhead.
Yeah.
It's a
Although
weird.
they are pieces of shit for cheating.
It's
so.
show-
I don't like that
Yeah,
either, but
it's
it's
fine.
not like people don't do it. It's not like, oh my
Yeah.
God, they're the first.
But it shows you how flawed humans are, and the fact that Jeff Bezos didn't need to go and send dick pics and have like this affair. If he wanted to like bang other girls, if that was his goal, he could easily set that up with some sort of like insanely high-priced prostitutes. And
But I
Why
think
not just get a divorce and bang whoever you
No,
want?
it has to do
because you want the relationship with your wife, whatever. You just want to bang other people, so
Yeah.
you're just trying to figure out
You're
how to
also
do that.
insulated, and I think there's a detachment from reality when you have that much money. That like we're all. I think everybody in this room is probably very careful about what we take photos of, what we send, texts, text messages, all of that. Whereas him, I'm sure at one point maybe he was that way before technology took on. But I think you do reach a level where you're so detached that your rules seem different. I don't think what you do is.
True, but why would he send the dick pics knowing
She
that?
knows what his dick looks like.
And he's also a
I've
politician.
never understood why. We could argue this all day long. I've never understood a guy thinking that sending a picture of something that arguably is very ugly to her is going to turn her on.
We don't know that he was sending these to her. He could have just had photos on his phone of.
Have you
him.
ever taken a picture of your dick?
I have not.
I haven't either.
I thought about doing it the other day. Hey, seriously.
Why? You gonna send it to Sam and knock her down a peg?
Come on. I was gonna send it to my wife.
Would she still quit the show?
Why would you send it to your wife?
Yeah, just for like
a laugh?
Not a laugh. Just like, hey, I'm super horny right now. Here's my dick.
By the way, she hates that. You should listen to Two Wife Crew. You'd learn a lot.
No.
About your own relationship.
I know she.
I know she loves you. You don't know nothing. That's fine.
I understand that that's not gonna make her horny. She's not gonna like it.
So
but
why are you gonna?
I don't know. I had the urge.
I know she's not gonna like it,
Yeah.
so I was gonna do it.
I had the urge to send the dick pic because.
How far did you get on this
Go.
plan?
Did you take the picture and then delete it?
You got to take it from up.
I
You got to
got-
go up. You got to go like from the bottom. You got to go from the shaft up.
I was driving.
Because it makes it look bigger. Oh my god.
And then I had to will. I
Soft
like.
noodle.
Was this after Fairvilla?
I was
No.
driving.
You got horny at Fairville?
I was
No.
driving. I got to pull over into a school parking lot.
I got to the
Guy
point.
was yelling at me next to me.
Some homeless man was yelling at me. I'm like, I'm taking the dick pic here, motherfucker.
I got to the point where I tried to will myself a boner, and then
I can do that.
I gave up after about 5 seconds.
Oh, that's you're not going hard enough.
Yeah.
One
yeah,
day-
you should send the dick pic and do the thinking of you caption underneath.
Dan has a new camera,
Sir, do you want to
too.
talk to me during the show?
The alcohol kicked in.
At the very start, before the technology was there, my uncle got caught up in the sex voicemail thing. My uncle Kenny Rogers got caught up.
Wait
Your
a minute.
uncle, hold on.
That's true.
Your uncle is Kenny
No,
Rogers.
That's
Hold on,
absolutely true.
Come sit down,
I
sir.
thought you knew that. You knew that.
Hold on.
Can
Can
you
you
give
talk
some
about it?
Rogers
Yeah, okay, come here.
All right, you just weaseled your way onto Yellow Mike.
You don't know how close you were, sir, for me to start shaming you for talking during our show, and then tapping my shoulder like I'm gonna tell this guy he's doing it.
I'll tell him how to send a dick pic. This motherfucker doesn't know.
Yeah, like
I'm
that.
goddamn Billy Rogers.
You're lucky your uncle's Kenny Rogers, because I was about to start making fun of you.
Kelly
I was gonna slap the glasses on your face. You were gonna get it good, but now you're bringing something to the show. So, what happened now?
Well, he was one of the first people to get caught up in this. It was before the internet. He had you could look it up online. He had it was basically a sex voicemail thing. And
So he left it for somebody else.
Yeah, and it was Diane Parkinson from Price is Right.
Oh,
Like,
yeah, good choice, Kenny.
Price is Right lady.
Good
But he had them
choice.
all over the country, I guess. I mean, it was National Enquirer News.
I
It was
remember
national
that.
news.
Yeah,
His divorce was one of the highest paying divorces of all time.
Oh, Jeff Bezos is going to beat that one.
Oh, yeah.
And literally be
Yeah.
forever the winner of giving his ex-wife the most amount of money in the world. So Kenny Rogers was basically, cheating, but using these phone
He was
lines.
doing more than that, but
What's more than
Wait,
that?
give us the scoop.
yeah. I mean, he was cheating on my aunt for years, basically. And
Did you
that's
know?
kinda-
Did you grow up around Kenny Rogers?
Yeah.
Okay.
We were next door neighbors. We grew up. I mean, the third youngest brother from him was my father. Was his head of security, so he ran all of his security.
No, really.
And my dad left the army in '81. We moved.
Is your dad's
basically
brother?
right next- Yeah, my dad's
Okay.
brother. Oldest brother.
Okay. I was about to say, Kenny Rogers must be super old
He's
for
like,
his nephew to be old.
70.
No offense.
Yeah, no. He's got kids older than me and younger than me. He's got like 14-year-old kids too.
So when's the last time?
Get it, Kenny.
Did when having Kenny Rogers as an uncle, like, did he give you really cool Christmas gifts or
a lot of belt buckles?
Or was
a
he
lot of
never-
belt buckles. A lot of roast beef sandwiches.
Well, you remember the roasters on I Drive?
Hell yeah.
Every time I'd come up from Auburndale to Orlando, I had free roasters tickets, so I could go in there and just get all the free food.
There used to be a Kenny Rogers Roasters near my high school, like at the end of the block and shit. So did you ever?
That shit was good as fuck.
Was
man.
he always? Well, you probably was always gone, right? You
No,
never hang
dude,
out?
well, it was. I had a really fucking crazy childhood. So my dad was this head of security. We lived right next door, if you can call it next door, but he had up right outside of Athens, Georgia. He had about probably 8,000 acres of land that he bought. He got into horses at first, and he was kind of always ahead of his time with a little bit of everything, but got into horses, got bored with that. He had $1 million horses, built a golf course. So we grew up on this golf course that nobody else played on.
So he built a personal golf course.
Personal golf course. Oh,
That's how you know.
It's still there. You can look it up. It's still there.
People still play on it?
Yeah, some billionaires bought it, couldn't turn it into anything. But it's still there to this day.
Wow.
But there were times we got we get picked up from elementary school, and this is in outside of Athens, Colbert, Georgia. 326 people in the town.
Okay, super small town.
Super small town. Yeah. Elementary school, a helicopter would land in our playground and pick us up and take us home.
Every day?
No shit.
Every day?
Not every day, but every now and then. My dad would be like, hey, because they'd fly into Atlanta in the big jet. Because he had DC-9s, he had Learjets, he had all kinds of, I mean, just unbelievable types of money. So the helicopter would land in Athens, and we were 20 minutes outside of Athens. So instead of driving in the fucking Dodge Caravan that he got from free, it was like, oh, no, I have my helicopter take me.
Did he have to get permission from the school? Is it
No.
blowing kids around?
They were riding monkeys on Greyhound.
It's a different time.
This was the 80s. No.
So when they landed,
now you think it's terrorists and the teachers are like under the desks.
Yeah. No, my mom would maybe call 10 minutes ahead of time. I don't know. But the helicopter would land, pick us up, and then take us.
Make sure you have paper clips. Your papers are going to blow everywhere.
The countryside. The guy would chase deer in the helicopter.
No shit. That is cool.
Shit, but, I mean,
throw your school lunches at them. What didn't you eat? You didn't eat your fucking sour bunnies?
It was a pretty wild childhood.
I bet.
And we'd have when the Jackson tour went down. Was that 86? I think?
Yeah.
Michael Jackson.
Tito came to my uncle's house, and we were all there with Christopher, his son at the time that we grew up with.
Oh, you guys got Tito?
Yeah. Well, that's all that would show up. I think it was Tito or Marlon, one of those two. But anyway, so the helicopter take us there, and then we ride in the helicopter to Atlanta, drop down right by the stadium where it was. The
walk in, you get like front row tickets.
Fuck walking in. We drove a car through the whole crowd.
Oh my God.
And got up on this big podium, and it was just us watching Michael Jackson and the Jackson 5 do the whole show.
That is cool.
Well, my cousin used to hang out with Michael. You know, all the shit that's coming out. We asked him. He was like, no, Michael never messed with me.
Because he used to be go to Michael Jackson's.
Well, that HBO documentary is supposed to be coming out soon.
Yeah.
They've already. Some people have been screening it. People are puking while they're watching it.
It was probably a power thing. It would be my guess.
Yeah,
I mean, again,
I still don't necessarily believe it. I'll watch the documentary. We'll see.
He said he never in his life, and he's an honest guy. But
I believe you. Yeah, for sure.
We were on vacation in Texas in our motorhome. My dad would take us in our motorhome. We were in The Gambler. My dad's been in all those movies.
Oh yeah, Six Pack.
Not except for Six Pack. It was a big one. All the Gamblers. All the Gamblers.
That's a great movie.
My dad was in every one of them.
We were a Kenny Rogers family.
Is Kenny Rogers still touring?
And Dolly Parton to me is the most beautiful woman in the world.
He retired in 2015.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right about that.
Do you still see him?
It's been about a year and a half since
Oh,
6
really?
weeks
So,
in.
so you like every once in a while still see.
Yeah, my dad talks to him every month or two.
Now,
or so.
here's the awkward but important question: when, and he will, because we all will. Kenny Rogers kicks his chicken bucket.
When he goes to that when he
bucket.
heads up to that big roaster in the sky. You know.
Well, he's 80 now.
Yeah. I mean, is he leaving a fortune to his family, and are you going to get a piece of it?
No, I
No?
won't.
Oh, okay.
No,
It's just
I
get
got
the
it.
fuck
I got it
off
in my
our couch.
childhood. I got it in my
Interrupted
childhood,
news.
but he's got his wife. It's his fifth or sixth wife.
I think it's his fifth.
Oh, yeah.
And they've got 2 twins, and they'll probably
Yeah,
inherit. But my cousin Christopher, who we grew up with, and Mary Ann, who was, on Hee Haw, she had more money than him when they first met. So she was on Hee Haw
Because
and
she was famous, yeah.
She was in Miss. She was, I think, a Miss America or one of those things. But
Sure.
she had more money than him. But they got most of the money. When the divorce happened, my cousin Christopher, I think, got half of everything. So Mary Ann wrote it in. If we ever get divorced, you get 25, I get 25, Christopher gets half.
Wow.
So at 16 years old, this kid inherited half Kenny Rogers' fortune.
Yeah. So tens of millions of
Tens of
dollars.
millions of dollars.
So
yes.
what did he end up being like? Just normal. Like, did he ever work or anything? I always
Yeah,
wonder.
He's well adjusted. I mean, he grew up knowing Nicole Richie and hanging out with Paris Hilton and all
gotcha.
that.
He's on that
But
level.
He's not that type of person.
Nice.
He drives an old Ford Cherokee or a Jeep Cherokee. Last time I saw him, he
So he's
has
a
his
normal
degree.
person. The money didn't.
Some people
fuck him
can
up.
He
handle
lives
it.
out in L.A. We went out there. It's probably been 6 or 7 years ago, maybe a little more. Went out to see him. He was living out in Beverly Hills. Had this $3-4 million mansion.
And then
Somebody's obsessed with the movie McShane. They want to know if you remember them. I was like, what do you want me to ask about
Wasn't
it?
that
If
with
he
Travis
knows about it or
Tritt,
remembers
right?
them. Like, I'm sure he
But
does.
he had this house.
You guys ever seen
that
Ghostbusters?
He had this house
Remember
he was gifted.
Oh,
Right,
okay.
pretty much in Beverly Hills. I mean,
God
just
damn.
amazing, fucking $4 or $5 million house. He sold it, put the money away, and moved into like an apartment in West Hollywood because he felt he didn't deserve to have that kind of money.
Smart
so
guy.
he's living.
Yeah, he'll be all right then.
Yeah, he's a writer. He makes movies. So I mean,
Oh my gosh!
Can you give me his number? I got a pitch for him.
Kevin Hart and Kenny Rogers.
Well, that's pretty interesting. You know
The
what? sir?
great
I'm glad you-
rotisserie heist.
Glad you interrupted Tom.
Yeah.
On his own show.
Well done. Oh, by the way, I
thought it'd
found
make
I found
for
a
good.
Kenny Rogers phone sex recording.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, let's listen to one here.
This is going to be uncomfortable.
Could have edited this part out right now.
On a warm summer.
Oh,
yeah, trolled.
God damn it! They got me.
Any more news over there?
There's also a band.
Yeah, sorry.
There's also a band called the Kenny Rogers
yeah, it
Bisexual
was-
European Threesome Experiment.
What?
There's a band called that.
It was pretty cool. I mean, I don't mean to elaborate unless you want me to. But
Yeah, no,
we
no,
were
it's
on
a-
vacation in a motorhome with Christopher, his son.
Uh-huh.
We get a call. Hey, go to the nearest airport. I'm sitting in the plane. Within 8 hours, I'm on the. Me and my brother are in the Rose Garden at the White House with George Bush Sr.
No shit.
like,
they flew you to the White House?
Yeah, well, he had to do a show, so they're like, "Oh, fly." We're staying in the Ritz-Carlton and in the Rose Garden within like 6 hours. Make sure your kids have their passports or at least a passport number so they can get that. shit
And you're there
done.
at the White House, and old Bush
George,
is
yeah.
there.
Mhm.
No
Yeah.
shit.
That's
So
crazy.
wild
pretty
shit
crazy.
Like that, like going to Lionel Richie's home when we were kids, and
Now look at him.
Drinking
here
White
were
Claw.
you guys.
Yeah.
Did you ever could you figure out a way to parlay that? What do you do for a
We
living?
were well. I I run the maintenance and custodial at Valencia College West.
Oh, really?
Wow. Wait, the Kevin Hart character does that.
Hold on, did you? I
should hang out with him
apologize
for a little bit.
But did you buy a car, buy a house? Why are you here?
I refinanced and got my floors done by Justin. I refinanced with Streamline and got my floors done by Justin.
You couldn't get old Kenny to like, hey, buddy.
You might want to ease up those White Claws. Your eyes are looking like two islands in the stream. I'm kidding. Drink up.
Did I
call it Uber.
I always have this fantasy of being like, if I ever struck it rich one day, that I would start giving money
if you'd
to
stop
your family.
fantasizing, we would.
No, I think we were a little young, basically. I tell the story, and my wife's like, never tell this fucking story, but we bullied Robin Thicke when we were kids.
Oh, really?
Oh, my God. That's what happened to him and Paula.
Yeah, exactly.
You're the reason.
Oh, you bullied him in what way? Like, he came over the house? Look at this kid
my
with
uncle
a big
had
dick.
these things called he had these things called the Classic Weekend when we were kids, and it was 4 basketball players, 4 golf stars, 4 tennis stars, and 4 entertainers. And one year it was Alan Thicke, and he brought his son that was about our age, and we were old. We were little Georgia
what are you
rednecks.
sticking his face in ice cream? And
Well, we called him Thin Twig the whole time.
No,
His
really?
little
Yeah.
skinny dork,
I wonder if he'd remember that.
Probably not. He's like, look at you. He probably got
He's on that show, The Masked Singer, right?
Yeah. Like, I'm
He
fucking
probably got
Miley
the better
Cyrus.
end of
Is he?
it.
I don't think so. I think he just.
I think he just got engaged or married again.
Did he?
Somebody.
Because he got a divorce after.
Well, not
that
even,
whole...
2015 he put out that Paula album. That was a cry for
Yeah,
help.
that didn't work. That didn't
No,
work
it
out.
did not work at all.
Well,
He's got kids with her, too. Sad.
After his hit with, the whole balloon,
Blurred Lines.
Yeah.
Yeah, Blurred Lines.
Emily Ratajkowski is in that video with her beautiful titties.
Oh, yeah. I think
Unbelievable.
that, too, that blew him up as far as, musician-wise. And then he maybe had some indiscretions with a model. We got divorced.
And the rest is history. Now he's on The Masked Singer.
What
a journey.
You know what's weird? It's like celebrities' kids' lives. It'd be a great reality show, but
They've done it.
have they? With I guess Ozzy Osbourne. was kinda
Absolutely.
like
There's plenty of
The
other
Hilton
shows that are
one, too.
based into L.A. and
Simple
it's
Life or whatever.
and it's all kids of famous people, and then just kind of follows them around.
Are they how old are the kids?
Young, early 20s.
Okay, I'm talking it would be weird to teen because that time you guys were early teenagers, right?
No, probably. I moved here when I was in 6th grade, so it was before that. We were young.
Because
We were young.
that's interesting to me is when you're that age as a kid and you're in this lifestyle and everybody's rich and all these celebrities are around you and shit. What the fuck kind of normalcy do you have, and how bizarre is that? Because think about it. If you're and that guy Christopher, your cousin, who's Kenny Rogers' son. That's pretty mature and advanced intelligence enough to be able to receive that much money at that age and not spiral your life out of control.
I agree.
I feel like for most people
But maybe that has everything to do with the fact that regardless of whether you're cheating on your wife or whatever, if you're a good dad and you instill some like quality values into your kid, maybe he picked up some. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think my uncle would admit he probably wasn't the best at it. It was probably more to do with his
mama.
mom.
Yeah, no, but I mean,
He
there's
had a
something
good
there.
thing.
Yeah, there's
And-
something there because, like, I know there. I go back and forth, especially as a new parent. I go back and forth on like nature, nurture, the whole thing. But I know plenty of people that have wonderful parents, and the kid is a complete shitbag, and have horrible parents, and he's a success and a kind human being.
I think nature's
sometimes I
stronger.
just think it's you shake them up and you roll them, and that's what you get. I don't know, man. I haven't figured it out.
But yeah, and from what I'm seeing with my sons, it seems like nature's strong. Like, just Tommy's personality did not just, he didn't develop that for me and my wife. He's got a strong inherent personality to do, the good thing or to follow the rules or whatever. And, I don't know where he got that from, but that's strong. So,
when he gets old enough to be their sales manager. Cannot wait.
Well, dude, thanks for telling us that. You know what?
problem.
You earn the right to sit on that couch on Bus Deckers News.
All right, right, but now
He sat there for an hour and a half and didn't tell us he was related to Kenny Rogers.
I know, you're right.
Butler, you can come back in, man. You're all right.
Oh, is he crying in there?
Yeah, he was a little sad.
He's like, I got uncles too.
What do your uncles do?
They own he has a small chateau in Burgundy, France.
Boo.
Boo. Get the hell out. Make America great again.
That ain't no Kenny Rogers.
Yeah. Islands in the stream.
My favorite.
That is what we are.
My favorite Kenny Rogers song of all time is when he dabbled into
the drugs. You're talking about just dropping in to see what my condition, my condition was in.
Yeah.
That wasn't Kenny Rogers.
That wasn't.
That was his band.
Oh, but
he's blanking on the name of his band. Dude. First edition. Yo, you want to hear that? That's a fucking good jam.
That is a deep Kenny Rogers cut. That's really good.
That's The Big Lebowski.
Yeah.
I got it on. I got it on vinyl, bro.
It is a dope song, though.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, get it, Kenny. Smoke some weed to this.
Oh yeah,
I did.
Yeah, oh yeah, what condition my condition was in.
Oh, it's just so good.
I woke up this morning with the sun down, shining in.
Okay, it's good though. I'll have to listen to that.
Okay,
tonight.
I tripped. What is it? I tripped on what? I fell 6 miles high. Anyway.
Next door?
Yep.
All right. So we're done with Jeff Bezos.
Sounds just like
according to a new study, no matter what order you drink in, like your drinks, alcoholic drinks, the truth is if you drink too much, you'll still get a hangover.
Yep. I believe that.
All right. So European researchers determined to find a way to help people have a better day after a night out, recruited 90 people to drink beer, wine, or both. One group drank 2.5 pints of beer, followed by 4 large glasses of wine. And the second group drank the opposite. So 4 glasses of wine and 2.5 pints of beer.
This is
I
like
did this test with liquor.
This is like beer before liquor.
Yeah, it's urban legend.
And then the third group drank only beer or wine or whatever. And so then they were all supervised over the night to see kind of what would happen. Turns out, no matter which order you drink it in, you're just going to get drunk.
Well, we know that, but
like and they all said the rate of their hangover was pretty much the same.
Yeah,
according to this limited study.
The problem is,
I can see it.
okay, the whole point, I think, of the beer before liquor and the liquor before beer is that you want to start with the stuff that's not so high of alcohol, at the end rather than you want to start with the high alcohol at the beginning and then taper it off.
That's what I like to do.
Because if you do the opposite, like you drink beer, then you switch to liquor, it's all of a sudden you're drinking way more alcohol at the end, and that's why it seemingly makes you sicker at the end. It's
that's true.
Or you could be like Bustecker, who just a sensible 2 beers and that's it, right?
Yeah.
You're pretty good about that, right?
I'm pretty good about that. Wine's tough because sometimes like I'll pour it and I don't know like what a glass of wine looks like, so I'll pour whatever I want, drink it, and then keep drinking. Like the other night we were out last night. Well, last night we went
I'll
out.
bring some wine the next time you come on my show.
All right, yeah, I'll drink it. But like the last night we were out and this guy just kept pouring glasses of wine, but he's just sort of filling it up.
Do you have a little hangover?
I probably had, no, I was fine, but I probably had more than I should.
What'd you think? What do you have?
What kind of wine?
Look, how many glasses?
Probably 3.
Whoa!
But it was a very short amount of time.
My wife, why would you say that? My wife has a theory about switching types of wine that gets her more hungover than if she sticks with one particular. Like, for instance, if she drinking Pinot Grigio and then all of a sudden
switch it to Chablis.
Yeah, and then starts drinking some Cabernet, then she gets more hungover than if she just would have stuck with that one particular.
I'll say that when I drink wine, if I drink a
lot
lot of wine and then when I go to bed, I have really weird dreams.
Yeah, me too.
I don't know about anybody else has that.
Yeah.
All right.
Wine like kind of fucks me up a little bit.
Oh yeah. Well, it's 14%.
It also makes, if it's red wine, it makes my doo-doo black, and then I cry and I cry.
Yeah. Wine will get you hungover as shit.
Yeah. Gives me the warm belly, like you say.
Oh yeah.
Well, I enjoy that. I like the taste of it.
It's between like 12 and 14, percent more. You're drinking a White Claw 5%. Anyway.
Or non-alcoholic.
Yeah, that's what I'm drinking. I'm drinking non-alcoholic beer, like every good dad.
All right, so
Going to mow the grass.
There is a new sausage-themed hotel in Germany.
All right.
So a 4th-generation butcher in Germany is celebrating his favorite food by opening what he calls the world's first sausage hotel.
Oh, I thought he was going to say Sausage Castle.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah, I was going to say Busey's going to be mad.
Sue him!
So Klaus Bobel, 48.
Klaus!
Opened the Bobel Bratwurst Bed and Breakfast.
Too many bees.
That's hard to say.
In Ritterspach near Nuremberg in a converted barn adjacent to his family butcher shop.
Oh, well, like everybody wants to stay in the barn.
So the hotel, which features a sausage imagery in every single room, has attracted guests from around the world during its first 4 months of operation.
What's it cost to stay there? Can you do the conversion?
I didn't say it in the story, but the hotel also has an on-site restaurant with a very narrow focus. He calls it a worstaurant because it only serves bratwurst.
That's it?
Don't call it a restaurant.
Yeah, well, it's bratwurst.
He's all
Bratwurst,
into
yeah.
When I went, they do like their sausage. When I went to Germany,
I love sausage, man. I think it's awesome.
too.
There was a lot of, at the restaurants, a lot of sausage options. And I remember getting a sausage plate of like the spread of all the different types of sausage.
You can do that at Willow Tree.
The Willow Tree.
Yeah, you can go there and they'll give you a bunch of different types of sausages.
And like, so they gave me the sausage plate, and then like the one nearest to the hot dog, like what everybody associates a hot dog with, they made into an octopus. So it was like a hot octopus.
A hot octopus.
Yeah.
Did you like that one the best? Did
Like
you
they
filleted the bottom of it and then they smooshed it down. It looked like a badminton with the little birdie.
Shuttlecock.
Yeah, shuttlecock.
They filleted it into 4 pieces, and then they curled it somehow. So it was like the top of a hot dog, and then the
You take
4
scissors
curled
like
arms.
ribbon at Christmas time.
Yeah.
Pull
I'm not sure how they do
pull
it.
it back on it.
But they love their sausage.
Do you like sausage?
Yeah, yeah.
But you don't get
Chorizo
to
is my
eat,
favorite.
you don't get to eat much of it. Like,
I'll
what is
buy
a
it.
typical dinner for you? I am just mesmerized.
Whatever my wife is cooking, I'll just add a protein to it. So it's usually chicken to whatever the hell.
Does she make the chicken or you make the chicken?
She'll make it. She just don't like to touch it. But she will actually.
So she blows on it to flip it.
Yeah, but she doesn't mind. She'll cook the meat for me. Doesn't prefer to, but she won't like. If we're making tacos or whatever, she won't like take the ground beef and like.
Yeah,
we're not supposed to use your hands.
That's how I crumble it all up.
Yeah. Do the boys ever ask? Do they ever go like, "Daddy's eating chicken," or do they ever say like, "Let me try it"? Or
she's indoctrinating them.
I thought you said you were going to let them make their own choice.
That's what she tells everybody. But I hear her say, like, do you really, like, you want to
leading the witness.
This is a cow. Yeah, she's leading them to make it be like, I don't want to do. Like, they don't even.
But they've never asked, like, Daddy, can I have a bite?
Oh,
yes,
wait till
they
Daddy
did in
Denny
Mexico.
Get some pepperoni.
Tommy ate a real hot dog in Mexico. Daniel saw it.
Did he like it?
Oh, yes.
He liked it.
Did you feel like shit afterwards?
No.
No?
But he but like my wife then implanted some fucking.
He'd have been all right had he not had the knowledge.
But like that's like she's
Lips
trying
and
to
assholes.
incorporate the link between this is meat, this is a cow. To them, which I think is fucked up. As a kid, you don't even realize that until you get older. Anyway, that's what she does.
But they did at one point in time. Like you knew that your meat came from your cow.
You should enact. It
I
makes
know
sense.
it now. I like to stare into the eyes of the cow right before I eat it. Hack it,
She's
grill it.
shaming them to not eat meat.
Yeah. It's,
not my kids.
Yeah, and she just wants them to know, like, hey, if you're eating meat, this came from a live animal, which I understand.
Which is fine, but when you're like, hey, this came from a cute cow that's out there. You know what I'm saying? You're skewing it.
Then
a
it becomes
bit.
a joke. Then it becomes not a joke, and then
as long as I'm not getting yelled at, I'm like, great. I can drink 2 more White Claws before this lady yells at me. I'm like, she's doing what she's doing. Like,
I pick your battles.
And you're bringing them to a barbecue place tonight.
Just
I'm gonna offer Tommy some
with pigs wearing sunglasses dancing through flames.
That's fine.
I bet Max will eat some brisket.
Yeah, I bet anybody would. It's good. It tastes good. But, there are a lot of benefits to not eating meat. So
now, man, like, it's funny, too. Like, they're eating corn dogs last night or, like, their favorite food.
I can't
is,
even
like,
tell the difference.
The chicken nuggies, but it's, like, faux chicken nuggies
I like
or whatever.
those.
But, man, it's pretty fucking close. Like, even the corn dog, like the vegetarian corn dog.
Yeah, we buy those. I can't tell the difference.
The hot dog tastes pretty fucking close.
Yeah, meatballs are pretty good, too.
Yeah,
it's all that dumb shit. Like, even the tofu crumbles you used used for tacos. It's not bad.
You would. I mean, if somebody told you that was a school lunch, you'd be like, all right. That's
Dude, now
yeah, exactly. Just call it school lunch.
And now like with the Impossible Burger and all that
Those
shit.
are good.
Like, I took a bite of. My wife had one the other day, and I was like, God damn, that's fucking close.
I have a theory that if you took some of the, you know how you get people, they're like, I would never eat that, and it tastes terrible. I wonder if you like made like the crumbles, but you told them it was some exotic meat, like, oh, this is kangaroo.
They would know.
They would be like,
No,
oh my
there's
god,
no way
this is
they know.
kangaroo. It's so good.
What's hard to do is replicate the grease or the fat.
Yeah,
like that's
yeah.
hard. But that's what like the Impossible Burger.
There are
like,
some places that can, though. A place like an Ethos, here in
Oh,
town,
yeah,
which
yeah.
is like a vegan restaurant. I mean, because they do put the fat back into it. It's not necessarily health food. I don't think they'd ever tout it as that.
No, they don't.
But it tastes pretty damn similar. you
those
know?
sausage bites at Ethos.
Oh, those are great, dude.
I mean,
Sausage rolls.
No,
They're phenomenal.
I mean, yeah, there's probably better if you prefer real meat. But if I gave that to someone, they'd be like, "This is fucking good." I mean, it's just, what's good is good, and you can't argue that it's not. It's
I
pretty
agree.
fucking close.
All right.
What else you got?
Speaking of world or themed attractions here, the American Kennel Club has reopened its Museum of the Dog in New York. So the museum is exclusively canine themed fine art.
I'm kind of disappointed.
Of my news of this.
No, I would have preferred it to be a kind of a Where Are They Now Museum of Dog the Bounty Hunter.
Yeah.
Like that would have been better. Like Beth's gloves in a glass case.
I also want the dogs themselves to make the art. Like, like they have them like put some paint on the tongue, have them lick a canvas or the paw prints or whatever, roll around. You know, dogs like they find some dead bird in the grass
and they roll in it.
They're fucking sitting there and rolling it. Why did they do that, by the way? I remember Lena, every time she found a dead animal, she'd roll in it. Then she'd stink.
Yeah, they're going to wash them.
Yeah. And then she'd, if she came back into the house, like if it was in the backyard.
Oh, it's terrible.
She'd put it on the fucking bed.
Rub it on the side of the couch.
So what's it? So
it was a museum in St. Louis. It actually used to be in New York, moved to St. Louis. Now it's back in New York. It's from the American Kennel Club.
Coming home.
Works by famous artists. I don't know any of the artists, but they're famous apparently. And there's an area where you can learn about different breeds of dogs, and also there's a virtual dog that learns tricks based on hand signals.
Okay.
Well, all right, it's like an exhibit. It's like something we'd see up at the science center.
Totally.
That's pretty cool.
When are they going to be able to get a robot dog good enough to?
Oh, it's coming, buddy.
Like
to suck your dick and
no.
like Butler's toast.
Just you get all the positives out of a dog and none of the negatives.
So no poop.
No poop.
No pee. You don't have to take it out.
Don't have to feed it. Don't have to take it out. Don't have to. You can leave your house and just turn it off. But when you get back, it does all the thing like playing with you, showing you love.
But would it mean anything
companionship.
knowing that it's not authentic?
I think it could be close enough where the.
Can we get those as babies too?
But yeah, I mean that's where we're going.
Don't have to clean diapers.
But you would have to be one of us, not one of the newer generations, in order to appreciate that. Because as time goes on, technology gets better. You'll reach a point where you'll be indoctrinated with just a robot dog, and you'll never know what it was like to have an actual dog. So you lose the comparison factor. You lose the metric.
Yeah.
All right, this reminds me of something. I've had this conversation with my wife. So if you found out tomorrow that your wife was a robot, would you still love her?
No.
Would you? If it's same thing, nothing would change.
I would scream, "Who the fuck programmed this robot?" and why are they fucking with me?
And that's when you pull the curtain back, and there I am plugging needles into a board. I'm like, sorry.
And would you stay with her?
25-year joke?
I would, and this sounds harsh, but remember, it's a robot now. I would start hitting the robot out of anger, because then it would be acceptable.
Yeah. Well, it wouldn't be acceptable.
Yeah, it would. You could.
Why? Why
she calls the robot police. She calls the robot police.
No, I'm just saying.
Is it because she doesn't
Robot
have
911.
What
is your emergency?
Yeah, it's not does someone get mad that you're hitting any other robot in your house? Like,
yeah, like if I started whacking my computer over, you're going to get mad at me?
No, but
Same thing.
But what has changed? Just because she's not a human anymore?
Yes.
Yeah. That's until we get to the point in society where
I wouldn't trust having sex with my wife anymore either because you fucking chomp down, eat my dick.
There will be a point in society where there will be activists about people like beating their robots and shit like that, or treating them badly.
Yeah, and then
like
dressing up as a robot.
That will happen.
Or like I identify as a robot. All that. Yeah.
We got a caller on line 1.
Line
it's
1.
Nick.
All right, then after this, we got to take a quick break and do some couple emails.
Yeah, Nick, what's going on, man? What's on your mind?
I want to bitch about the Lime bikes. They're out of control.
They are. Look, I will agree with you, and I'm a fan of the Lime bikes. I think they're kind of cool, but they just need to be in a specific area. They can't.
They need to be in a bike rack.
Yeah, they can't just be thrown everywhere in front of your car or like in your neighbor's yard. I mean,
they're supposed to be painting parking spots on the ground for them.
Well, I don't care about parking spots. Like
it's not. No,
they can do what Juice did. Juice has a rack.
Yeah, well,
a rack. Yeah.
The reason Juice has a rack and Lime doesn't is because Juice was the first ones that had bikes, and there were rules put in place specifically for Juice. And now that Lime's come in,
sounds like you said Juice.
Yeah.
I want to clarify.
I was like,
oh my god.
But now that Lime's in there, but Lime didn't have to have those same rules.
So what? But
what are they?
It does look junky. I think we can all agree that it kind of shits up the city a little bit, right?
It's yeah.
They're bikes.
How does it work?
My bike in Baldwin. I don't live there, but I see them everywhere, and it's junking up your town.
So
how does it work?
I agree.
Tell me how it works.
So
You're junking up
I'll
the
tell
town.
you
Thanks for
What are you
calling
doing
me.
riding around in Baldwin? You don't
I'll tell
live
you how it
there?
works. So Juice bikes. Are you familiar with a Juice bike?
No, I don't know.
So
It's
anyway,
the orange bikes.
They're like rental bikes. So you walk up to it. The Juice bikes, you put a code in, and then you can ride it for an hour, and it'll charge your credit card. Same thing with the Lime bikes. You go up to it, you register, you can go on, you hop on,
A lot of
hop
times
off.
you use an app.
The difference is the Lime bikes aren't. They're called dockless bikes, so they can just be anywhere.
They're
The
also
Juice-
electric. That's
yeah,
another
they have
difference.
an electric assist as well. So you hop
Like a motor in there?
Yeah. So like if it's just sitting outside here in front of your studio, you can hop on, you can ride it to wherever you want and leave it right there. The Juice bikes, you generally have to take it back somewhere.
To some kind of dock.
Yeah, you don't have to, but they'll come pick it up. But you're charged more. But most of the time, you have to take it back.
How do they keep people from stealing them?
Because they're first of all, they're really, really heavy.
Yeah,
But second of
there's
all,
a
you
GPS.
have to put your card in, and if you pick it up, it like triggers something. Like you can't just
It'll talk
take
to you.
them.
It'll say like, please put the bike back down.
And there is a GPS, so somebody can
Robot
come
bike.
find where it's
Okay.
at. So
Will you hit this robot too, Tom?
the difference is they looked at, and Brendan and I have talked about this on Bungalow and the Bus. The difference is the Juice bikes, when you compare miles driven in the last like 2 months or something like that, the Lime bikes have destroyed them in terms of how far, because people really like them.
Yeah,
Because
and
you
the electric assist,
Yes.
the convenience of not having to find the dock. I get
convenience
it.
yeah.
I totally get it, but then it's up to Lime to get off their ass and go pick up these bikes every fucking night
It's true.
and stop fucking around because it looks like shit.
Now what? Okay,
I saw one upside down, like
No, that
seriously,
looks
in
bad.
somebody's
No,
grass.
you're right.
No, and it was like at 6:30, and then the next morning it was like 6. Another, like, let's say 12 hours then.
Yes.
And it's still fucking there. Lime, get off your ass.
Can you find the bike through some GPS,
Yes.
or do you just have to randomly walk upon
No,
it?
oh, you mean as a person?
Yeah,
I don't know
because
about that.
that's
I don't have the app.
Because
I'm sure there's an app where you can find it. Like if
Locate
you
a bike,
can probably,
yeah.
Yeah, you can probably find the nearest 10 around you.
Well, yeah, because like walking down the street and there's just some Lime bike.
Yeah,
that
like
someone
everybody's
discarded.
calling me an old man in the chat room just because I want people to do their job.
And there's
Okay,
a hub.
fine. I'm an old man
There it
because you
is.
should
Get
be
'em.
doing your job.
There's
Old
some
man,
hubs
damn.
too. Like there's usually like where I live in College Park, so you'll see them in a certain spot in College Park.
Yeah.
But then you will randomly see them just on a sidewalk. One of the bigger issues, not just it being flipped over in your yard and looks like shit, for people that are disabled. Like if you need the sidewalk to move.
Yeah, there's all these bikes laying
in
around.
the middle. What are you supposed to do? Are you supposed to go on the road? Or are you supposed to go on the grass? So there are some issues with it. They need
Yeah.
to solve it.
How?
Well, it should have been figured out before it was implemented.
If they're
True.
electric,
And that's up to Buddy Dyer, right? That's his fault.
Part of it's a city thing. You're right.
Yeah, they
And-
fucked
and
it up. I mean, I think they rushed it because they thought it was cool and they threw it out there. And it is cool. Here's
it's
the
not
thing.
the only city that, I mean, we're not like the first city that's
Right.
had it.
No,
They've
they're-
had some issues in other cities.
So
So-
what do those cities do? Do you know?
I don't know. off
Like
the
New
top of my
York and
head.
places like that are like banning the scooters for that very reason too, right?
They don't
Yeah.
have those here yet. Like little tiny like razor
Supposedly we're gonna
scooters.
get 'em.
Yeah, they
They're
have those in
electric,
Detroit.
yeah.
And people
Yeah.
they love them.
yeah.
How do they get if they're electric and they're just everybody uses them then discards them wherever they're at? Who charges them?
Solar.
Oh, they're solar.
Yeah, a lot of them are solar. I know the juice bikes are solar. I'm sure these ones are too.
No shit.
Yeah, or the pedal power too. It can probably help like a
Generate
Yeah,
the
I
power,
think
yeah.
I think that it takes some of the electric assist to help the look. I'm pro it because I like riding bikes. I'm a cyclist, man. I just can't ride as much because of my prostatitis and my bad back. But I love fucking bikes.
You should get one of those. Like
No, I'll never get one of those. That is an old man douchebag bike. But I would. Tom wouldn't let me buy it because it's too expensive. But I wanted to get one of those Surrey bikes, which is the 4-person bikes they have it at Disney with the steering
I
wheel.
thought you meant the two, like the 3 bike with the basket on the back.
No, I want the big. I want the
four.
4-wheel Surrey bike
We
that
got
has.
a company down the street.
Yeah, they're
that
literally
does it.
right here,
Yeah.
and I want one for the studio. So
Why don't
when
you get one?
when we need stuff, instead of taking a car, we all jump in here. We
Yeah.
can record from it. We
Dude,
can ride
they
around the lake.
Find a sponsor. He finds sponsors for his gutters. And
Oh,
stuff.
we had a problem this morning right before the show. So
What?
I you know, it's funny. I've never noticed. It's probably because I'm don't notice shit. But I've never seen a green bike just laying on the.
They're
ground.
newish.
Okay.
Yeah, they've been a month. Maybe
But a lot of
2
people are
months.
talking about like this is a scourge.
Oh,
of
they don't have
society.
those in Castleberry.
They launched it at
Steel bikes
UCF
in
first.
Castleberry.
They had them at UCF first, and now they've brought them more to the city.
Okay, I've
But-
seen the orange ones around here.
Yeah.
and like in Baldwin.
In
but-
Castleberry, they have wife beaters like
Pick one up.
Charge by the sun
I put
free.
it on.
Yeah, do rag.
Get over here, robot.
Put in your code, then you'll and then you're good to go.
I need some South Pole jean shorts.
They have a rental station.
Okay, we got to take a break and then come back and do some mail real quick and then get out of here because we've fucking done 2 hours.
Hey, guess what? Our good friends, the Shabooms, have a brand new album coming out very, very soon. It's called The Blurred Odyssey, and this is the lead single. And from it, and if you guys will remember, a couple of years ago, they came in here. In fact, Sam, do you know when the Shabooms are scheduled to come in here again?
Let me check my calendar. It's next month. It's in March.
Yeah, we're going to have them come in again, but they did this song. They debuted it on our show, and here's now the produced version.
Awesome.
It's so good. This album is just going to be incredible. So enjoy this. It's called Audible. It's by the Shabooms, 1-844-TOMNDAN, or show at tomandan.com. If you'd like to get in that last-minute email, because I guess we're going to do some mail-on-mail next.
Yeah, real quick.
All right, mail-on-mail is on deck, and we will be right back.
So I remember like people started talking like, and I hate awkward situations. So I'm like, hey, I just started taking shots because I was like, and so I remember.
Didn't he start sending people home?
Oh yeah. Like he started he's like sending the cooks home first and the wait staff and shit.
No, he sent the wait staff home first. He
Yeah.
did the cooks.
But I remember like the guy was sweating. Like
That's part of his
upset.
problem.
And then I was like,
Lock the
"Listen, man,
doors.
I'll
No
try-
one's leaving."
I was like, I'll try to make it up to you. I'm like, you don't have to pay my promo
But it's
fee.
not your fault.
No, but that's what the radio station does. Like they put me in a situation where who's he gonna get mad at? Me? Like I'm
My first thing to him
the
would be
salesperson
like,
left.
This isn't my fault.
Yeah, but like, no, you can't see. They leave you on the front lines.
I
Like,
know.
sales guy's not there. Upper manager, they'd never be there.
Yeah.
So you're the guy. You're the face. The guy that's been talking about it. You're there. And then when the guy comes up and he's like, "Where are all the people?"
Here's the worst part. When the
You and David Nickel were singing the Dolphins theme song.
When the miracle catch happened, was that Plaxico Burrs? Who made that catch? Basically it was a one-handed helmet catch, and he landed when the Giants won the Super Bowl or whatever.
Yeah.
So when the Giants actually beat the Patriots, like last minute drive, whatever. Me and David Nickel were dancing. We're drunk at this point at the end of the Super Bowl, dancing, celebrating, and then I look over at the owner, and he's sitting there mad, just in the corner. All his staff is left, and I'm like,
Or you're like, one more shot on my trap, please.
I remember I was like, listen, I'm not gonna take my promo fee. I apologize. He's like, I already paid. It's like it was in the package.
Because it goes to the company. Company's got to divvy
Then
it
I
up.
was like, am I gonna go and like drive and return my
Hell
$300
no.
to this guy?
No.
didn't.
I think
And then
originally
went
you
out
said you were going to, and then you were like,
But then, like,
I
does he
forgot.
not get anything later? Like, can he not call the rep and be like, "Look,
Oh,
like,
absolutely
you
he
guys
could.
messed this
Yeah,
up."
absolutely.
they're
Could.
like,
All they're going to
you're
say is
fucked,
they'll we'll give you 1,000
added bonus during Tom and Dan. Like during the show, no one listens.
we'll give you like 50 extra 30-second spots that run between the 1 a.m. and 5 a.m.
And we'll put you on one of our digital billboards for 2 seconds.
yeah. Anyway,
It's a fucking
Super Bowl
Why
parties
did
are
you stay
rough.
the whole time? Like, if you did, you
because he felt guilty.
Yeah,
I mean, he's not
I
gonna
didn't
not
want to
stay
leave.
there.
Yeah, like what am I going to do?
So-
Like, sorry. Then there's nobody. Like,
so in an awkward scenario, not only is he going to stay there as long as he possibly can, the whole game, the MVP, the trophy, everything, but he's not going to take the money, so he's just torturing himself, like flogging himself.
At halftime, you'd be like, this didn't work out, buddy. I'm going to go home.
You know, yeah, I was too awkward.
Butler. I mean, Bus Stagger's got balls.
I was buying
Well, I feel
drinks.
like you're
and-
helping everybody by leaving. Like, he doesn't have to stay there. You don't have to stay there.
You're right. He wasn't staying there for you. He could have left.
yeah. It was a bad.
He'd have gone to the parking lot and blown his brains out. He could have done that.
Let's do
Bud Dwyer'd it.
Do a voicemail.
All right, I got one queued up for you. Let's see how this one.
Hi guys, it's not Zach from Ohio. Just wanted to comment on the discussion of Butler's weight, which is seemingly an anomaly because he eats all the time. Has anyone ever considered the fact that he has a binging and purging disorder?
Oh no, my teeth
From
are big.
purgingdisorder.com. In the context of eating disorders, purging typically goes hand in hand with binging. Butler? Purging? I'll hang up and listen.
Now you say your teeth is too good because stereotypically, if someone's vomiting all the time,
he comes out the other end.
Oh, yeah. You can take laxatives.
A lot of diarrhea.
Yeah, do you take
I don't have a lot of diarrhea.
Or-
Long snakes.
if you line,
Oh, wait, are they skinny? That's cancer. If they're pencil thin, you got cancer.
No, I don't. They're not pencil thin.
Okay.
if you line the inside of your teeth
That's
with
true.
napkins,
Way too much
If
work.
anyone listening to this,
you vomit.
I don't think napkins
No,
are
you put
anything.
you put a Vaseline on them.
Oh yeah, good job.
Yeah. That's what you do. It's like when I'm dyeing my hair like Dracula, you got to put a little Vaseline on the widow's peak up there to keep it from coming down into my eyes. Dye my eyebrows.
I don't think I've ever seen you eat here.
Oh, he's cookie's
yeah,
crazy.
yeah.
But he's been cutting back because not only have we been giving him shit, but I think didn't your wife give you some shit? Didn't you go to the gym one time? She got a fucking horny for you or something?
Yeah, and I've been going like 5 days. Yeah, I'm going on 6 days today.
Yeah. Because like she's super fit, and he was becoming more like me and Tom. Sedentary.
She saw you too and like, don't end up like those.
I swear to God, she had to deliver something to my house one time. She rang the doorbell. I came downstairs. I was in my pajamas. I opened the door, and she looked at me like she'd seen a fucking attraction, like a creature at Harry Potter, the vault. Like one of those fucking trollmen. The money trolls from Harry Potter.
She was like a chiropractor. I went to her office, and she gave me a medical massage.
It's so gross.
And
It was
I-
probably after you worked out. You're sweaty.
I don't have
gross.
jeans on.
It's called an adjustment, dude. It's not a medical massage.
Oh, I didn't know what it was.
Medical massage.
I can't seem to release my balls.
I'm too awkward
you
to
like-
turn
were
it down. Because she's like, "Do you want a medical massage?" I'm like, "Yes, I do."
Did you
An adjustment.
Did you warn her? Were you like, word of warning, I do not wash my legs?
Well, it was just one of those. It's like, yeah, she asked me like, "Do you want adjustment?" I'm like, "Yes, I do." Even though I was, I
you
awkward? Always will say yes.
Did she say medical massage, or is that just something you made
Nah,
up?
I
Did
don't
you
know
get
what it was.
under the sheet?
Whoa, yeah. no, I sat on this thing and she was adjusting
Tom's
my
the
back.
only guy I've seen. He goes to the masseuse. He puts his dick through the face hole. He wants him to do the downward jacking move.
I hope I get the medical heavy ending.
Butler's videotaping it, and I was super stiff, awkward.
Pictures of him.
Super awkward stiff, and I'm sitting there, and then she's doing her thing, and then Butler's videotaping me. I'm like, and then my face is in the door. I'm like, oh, make me a
What's
bird.
that chain around town? Massage Envy. So I went to Massage Envy one time. This is years ago.
Oh,
my
they
back.
touch you weird there, don't they?
No, I thought
they
it was
always get
good.
in trouble for.
No,
sexual
that's a
assault stuff.
chain, isn't it?
No, they get in
They
trouble
are a
all the
chain.
time.
Oh, it's a chain. I went there
It's
and
a
I did
franchise.
the classic Tom because I was like trying to strike up a conversation with the person, like because you talked to him beforehand, and she's like, you can go ahead and just get down in your underwear, and then we'll I'll be right back. So I go there and I get face down. You're doing that thing where you talk down while they're talking while they rub you, and she starts rubbing me. I'm like, hey, you know, like
I don't
this,
like to
this is a
talk.
hard job. You know, do you ever get any guys in here that want a little bit more? And she's
You
like,
asked that while she was massaging.
yeah. She was like, what? And I'm like,
Nothing.
because I thought about it.
Yeah,
and I'm
she
like,
probably thought you were
I
propositioning
was
her.
being serious. I didn't want her to think that.
You're testing her.
I did the talk.
I'm like, nothing. Someone in here.
You do that move where you ask the person you're interviewing, like, what do you say to people who say this?
Yeah.
Well, you're asking them, but you're saying, you're blaming it on everybody else. All right. What do we got? Let's do one more voicemail and get out of
All
here.
right, one more voicemail. Let me see what I got here.
Or do we do an email? I forgot the.
Well, we just did voicemail. You want to do it? Let's finish with an email. We never do that.
All right. Hey there, I was listening to the Toxic Sock Syndrome show and noticed that as Tom was telling the story, he said, my wife, and Crystal says, my name is Crystal, with a somewhat upset tone. Then later, Tom says it again, and Andrea jumps in and says, her name is Crystal. My question is, why is saying my wife bad? He didn't say it with some dismissive tone or something negative to put her off. Maybe it's some inside joke. Maybe Two Wife Crew should take on this one. It just stood out to me and I couldn't understand it. Hopefully they can set me straight. So like while you were telling the story, you were saying my wife while she was sitting here.
Yeah. That's
My name is Chris.
I'm sorry.
I'm glad you did that. That was, you know what? That was good prov.
That was really good improv.
Good
I'm glad he
prov.
had that White Claw. Loosen him
Yeah,
up
it
a little.
loosened him. You needed that White Claw. That's because we're about to lose our fucking studio.
Talk about it.
Sign the contract, Butler.
Butler,
Sign our
just-
names.
Yeah, just go in there for it.
It's a force of habit because back in the day I used to just say my wife because
And most of the time she's not here. and-
I would just assume that the audience didn't know who the fuck Crystal was, so I just said my wife. Even when she's here, it's a habit. So that's it.
Yep.
That's all.
I agree.
There's no
And even
specific
if you have like
reason.
new listeners, they might not know who Crystal is. You know.
Yeah. But when she's sitting right here, it is weird. But I'm
Yeah,
just
but you know
so
what's
used
weird
to
is that she's Crystal to us, but to her family,
she's Lauren.
She's Lauren.
Yeah. I have to
So they don't call her Crystal.
No. they
What's her
call
first name?
Lauren. Crystal is her first name.
Did she choose to be called Lauren?
No, the family didn't like the name Crystal,
so they named her that.
So
I'm sorry.
What the hell?
And then they preferred Lauren, so they just started calling her Lauren. And then
Is any part of her name Lauren?
yeah, her middle name.
Okay.
And then when she went to
Because I don't like the name Dan, but I'm kind of fucked.
yeah,
You
when
can change it.
I want to be Frankie.
yeah,
You can
don't be
change your
Frankie.
name.
Yeah.
Hey, it's me, Frankie.
Tom and
Like-
Frankie.
yeah.
Anyway,
I listened to that.
Yeah. See?
yeah,
Better.
so
It's fun loving.
And then at school, they called her Crystal, and then all her friends called her Crystal. So then now
What
you
does
have
she
this-
prefer? Because I call her Crystal. Would she prefer me call her Lauren?
She likes Crystal, and in
Her
school.
professional name is Crystal on all her business
Yeah,
cards.
well, it's her first name.
Yeah. I know, but why does
I
everybody
believe me.
call her Lauren?
Well, at family reunions when I'm her family, I have to switch my brain to
Do
like.
you call her Lauren in front of everyone?
Yes, yeah, because they don't know when I say
You poor man.
Yeah,
Like, my God.
God!
I want to hug you right now,
Don't hug
especially
me.
after you did the black lady drumming part for Kilt. Like that really warmed my. That's the greatest thing. That's the greatest gift you've ever given me.
You don't. If you had a video, if you videotape my life, you do.
I can't believe anything you say.
It's worse than
every
even
time
saying.
you peel one more piece of the onion back, Sam. I think Sam's starting to think that your real name's not even Tom Dan. Like, there's more to this story. This is starting to sound like what is it? Abducted in plain sight.
No.
Yeah. One day the whole story will be out, and the people think,
no.
"Oh my God, this guy didn't know what was happening to him."
He was shitting through a hammock.
Let's get out of here.
All right, guys. Thanks so much for listening. We appreciate it. Follow us on social media. We're concentrating on the Instagrams. I'm at Mediocre Dan, at Mediocre Tom, at InstaSam_86.
Insta_Sam86.
Fuck,
It's
so
fine.
close.
I
Butler, you
wish
don't.
I could change it
You
at
don't
this
really
point.
do it, right? I think you can if you want to.
I think I'm Twitter. I think I'm at that guy Trav. I think I'm I don't know the rest. Russ.
Well done. John Bustacker. You on the Instagram?
Nobody's gonna follow you.
I know.
You're just John Bustacker.
You're just John Bustacker everywhere.
There you go. And anything else to plug? Porky's tonight.
Porky's tonight.
Yeah, get
Maybe.
Bustacker's book, 100 Things to Do Before something.
Also,
Fuck his book.
Great plug.
Also, I will say that if you're in need of a story that needs to be told or a video, I think John is a very accomplished filmmaker. Man, you do a very fine job.
Thank you.
We're supposed to release our BDM.
We're gonna do it Monday for BDM. You see what I'm saying? Like, that way, it's kind of
Yeah.
coincides with BDM Monday.
I had a typo in it anyway, so I got to fix it.
So
we already worked this out.
I fixed it.
We're going to be releasing a BDM video that Bustacker produced for us that I think everybody like, kind of explaining what BDM is. Because we realized we get that question a lot, so we might as well have a video out there.
You don't want to talk to anybody anymore.
Well,
Just watch this goddamn video.
Now you can look it up on social media, which I don't know how to do, but it'll be out
There you go.
somewhere.
Yeah.
There it is.
Okay.
Support all our sponsors. They support us. Again,
We'll see you at Porky's tonight for barbecue.
Yep. Become a BDM. You probably got a couple weeks before we're going to send out the invite.
Oh, Cabana shirts, June. That's what we're
Yes.
looking at. It's going to take a while, guys. I'm sorry.
The bill for that today.
Oh, yeah. That's a bad one. That was a stinger.
It's like, I think it was that the bill for the Cabana shirts were more than I paid for my boat. That's not a good sign.
That's true. That's true. And you don't even have the boat anymore.
I know. Now I can't resell
Boats are
that.
fun. Shirts are shirts.
All right. Thanks.
And Twitch, guys, thanks so much for hanging with us. You guys are awesome. We'll see you Monday. Have a wonderful, safe weekend. Bye.